Hey, Bikeaholics, Zero 3D has a wide variety of innovative products for your Harley-Davidson motorcycle. Affordable chrome, lighting, and comfort products. These guys ride and support riders just like you. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/Zero. Get hooked up. You'll like this Popeye. Yeah, sure, you betcha. Give me an A.
Eh?
I'm from the Great White North, right? Like up above the States. Yeah. The big landmass that the rest of the world hates. Yeah. We're like above that. Fucking north, I guess. The big patch of trees where everybody's bored to death. We're just chilling up here, sipping syrup, playing hockey. Before we learn to walk, we can cross-check properly. Just rocking plaid jackets. Chainsaws, we operate them right. Fucking A right we do, bud. We cut our weight in firewood. Every 20 minutes or so. Smoke break. And if the Leafs make the playoffs, I'll fucking jump in the lake. Fucking buddy comes over to my place the other night and he's like, "You want to go out for a rip?" And I was like, "Fucking right." Yeah. So we hop in the truck and hit the mud and I was like, "Oh, fuck yeah, bud. Just go for a rip, are you, bud? Just go for a rip."
Let's go for a rip, Popeye. Just go for a rip.
Ripping it.
Just go for a rip. Just go for a rip, are you, bud? Just go for a rip. Just go for a rip, are you, bud? Just go for a rip.
Check this out, Popeye.
I come from the land of the polite, where shit's covered in ice. And when I'm down in the States, they're like, "You're too fucking nice." Like, yeah, we got manners, but fucking buddies still fight and fucking swear and fucking drink all night. Like this one time, me and fucking buddy are out having a dart, and fucking buddy burns a hole in my coat. And I was like, "Fuck, bud," because the coat was pretty new, right? And he's like, "Fuck you." So I put his head in a snowbank and just started fucking feeding him the right, left, like fucking boom, boom, boom. Got enough yet? And he's like, okay, fuck, chill out, shit. So I pulled him out of the snow and we went out for a rip. Yeah. Just
went out for a rip.
Are you? Fuck yeah. Just out for a rip. Fucking right. Just out for a rip. Are you? Fuck yeah. Just out for a rip. Fucking right. Just out for a rip. Are you? Fuck yeah. Just out for a rip. Fucking right. Just out for a rip. Are you? Fuck yeah.
Okay. That's my intro. I thought you would freaking appreciate that, dude.
Oh, yeah, that's good stuff.
I found that on YouTube. I was like, dude, we got to play that, man. And we're just messing around. All our Canadians up there know. And we're going to get into part two of the two-part series, Canada series. Let's do this thing. Welcome back, Bikeaholics. Ryan Erdocker here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker podcast, of course. And this is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the big MM, also known as the
99%ers.
That's right. Whether you like it or not, Jeff, by listening to this very podcast, you are part of what we call the biker revolution. Own it. Own it.
Own it. Own it. What am I supposed to do? This part I've never seen before.
No,
I've never heard before.
I like it. I'm changing it up. I'm always changing stuff
you
up.
are. You caught me off guard.
I do it. Yeah. Keeps the audience never know what we're going to do in the sweatshop up here, and I am sweaty.
The sweat lodge.
Are you glad you took a shower, Popeye? Because it might have not mattered now.
Might not have.
I took a shower too, but Buddy the studio dog in my lap here, guys. That's right. We do have just one question for you. What are you waiting for, Bikeaholics? Mount up. Let us take you on another wild-ass ride. That's right. Ryan Erdocker, of course, as I stated, your host of the Lab podcast, and your
high-tech redneck.
See, you even go away, but after one episode, you're right back into it. We already did part one of two. If you have not listened to part one, then this is going to make no sense, because we're going to start this out where we left off the last episode, and you really need to hear the build-up to
That's right.
where we are.
You got to go back. You got to go back to part one. Listen to all that, and then you can come back and listen to this one.
I love it. What a salesman, man. It's awesome, man. New video real quick. Bassani 2x2 dual head pipes for Harley touring. It's an install tutorial and review. It can be found. It's free on our YouTube channel with over 7 million views and almost 40,000 subscribers now. lawabidingbiker.com/Bassani-head-pipes. It is such a detailed install video. Of course, we carry Vance & Hines in our store. We're big proponents of Vance & Hines, but it doesn't mean other exhaust is bad. And we try to keep it real around here and give you guys videos of not just stuff we sell, but other stuff that is out there on the market, guys. So with that said, let's pick it right back up. We are on day 3. This is part 2 of the Canada 6-day series.
This is part 2. I don't get my introduction, my theme music, my chi.
right here, dude.
What's going on?
I'm telling you, I'm changing it up, dude. That is
I was
Popeye.
been out of the studio for a while, and you know what? The people demanded Popeye when we were in Canada. Did they not? The
love
Patreon
Popeye.
said, "Why have you not been in the studio?" They demanded Popeye back.
I told you, you guys got to get used to it, man. You're freaking whether you like it or not. You're a personality.
Yep.
And Jeff doesn't want to believe it, but right over there, you know what?
Fast becoming a legend.
We're
In the lab studio.
Popeye, me and you, we're kind of a big deal.
We are.
Okay, but you know what?
We can't compare to Sturgis.
We're not a big deal like you. You know why?
No.
Because you sit back, which is exactly why you have this theme music,
Yeah.
and you wait.
Mere mortals among a god.
You're like, yeah, right, yeah, exactly. And he waits. He waits to pounce on you like
You guys to
prey.
screw up, yeah.
Strikes like a strikes
Normally
like a
doesn't take
viper.
long.
I'm glad you called me on that, Popeye, because I did forget your theme music, and it does. It gets you going. It's kind of like
gets me in the mood.
kind of like if you're an MMA fighter and you're going in the ring and
Yeah.
they didn't play your song.
Yeah,
You're
I
gonna
come
lose.
walking up and nothing there, and just come walking in. Am I fighting? I mean, what's good? I come to the podcast, I don't get my music. It just
You're right.
throws me all off.
I love it. So let's just pick it back up there. And we're having fun here, guys. And we're so glad to have you live. lawabidingbiker.com/live. Buddy, the studio dog's in my lap, you guys that can see. Right there live. On that live page, upper right-hand corner, get on the email list. The only email you'll get is when we go live. You'll get an email with a big, huge button with the date and time. You push that button, you come right to where we're live. You can live chat. Don't forget to throw us those super chats, guys. We had a few in part 1 of 2, and we really, really love those, not only financially, but it shows us that you guys love what we're doing, and it motivates us during July, which we weren't supposed to do any podcasts, and we still are doing a live for you guys. This won't come out till August, but you guys live get to see it first. So thank you very, very much, guys, for that. So we'll chat with you as much. Me and Popeye are on the chat. Sturgis Jeff is not on the chat, even though he's got like 90 years in law enforcement. Apparently he can't multitask.
No.
And
He started out before computers, so it's not like he's been multitasking this entire time.
he's been on YouTube, but he doesn't know what YouTube is.
He's had like
no, he does.
He's only had like a quarter of his career.
We're gonna just beat you up right away, Jeff.
Are you guys
quarter
done?
of his
Are you
career.
done?
No, I'm just trying. I'm
Are you
trying to
back
talk,
up?
but
Keep going.
you keep talking over
Go
me.
ahead, guys.
You've only had like a quarter of your career
Boy,
where
you're
you used
just
computer.
ripping me up, and I'm just getting me really good here. Just awesome. Just awesome.
Are you done so
Boy,
I can
got
keep
me.
going?
You got me.
Are you
down.
done so I can keep going?
No, I'm really not. I really just come on, guys. Just keep it coming. You just really got me. You're killing me here. You're killing me.
That's what I told you. That's why I bring you
I'm
two.
so overwhelmed.
I can't bring one without the other because it wouldn't be fun. Okay.
I'm having fun. I
You
really-
are. All right. And I'm hot. Oh,
I'm
God.
hot.
I am.
It's
Oh,
ridiculous.
sweating.
Okay, let's this is
Sitting in the
way-
sweat lodge,
This is
drinking my whiskey.
See, Popeye's done. Is he done?
No,
got some buckshot.
Oh,
just getting warmed up.
So we ended up with everybody partying. Not everybody. Not Jeff, I, or Oscar.
Not all night.
Not us. No, I'm saying
Not
we
all
weren't.
night.
We didn't party.
Some of us were responsibly partying
Yes.
as well.
You guys were hanging out with the locals, and apparently what Lurch calls a poor man's version of Kid Rock. And the next morning, Lee, and this is going to be in the documentary because I knew what was going to happen. I had my cameras ready to go because I could not wait for the next morning because I knew it was going to be a shit show. So let's go ahead, dude. We wake up at the Firebrand.
All right. So-
Firebrand, right? We're still at the Firebrand in Whitefish, Montana.
Even before that. So
It was that.
the
and that-
debauchery.
Hang on.
Hold on a second.
Sarge
But
has
that
something
morning,
to say.
yes.
You're talking your mic.
We have to insert this because it was that morning that they opened up Glacier.
Talking the mic. There
It
you
was
go.
that morning
You're
that
way
they opened
ahead.
up Glacier.
You're way ahead.
Yes,
No, I'm
you're
not.
right. It was that
It
morning.
was that morning.
I know it was.
But you're right.
So we were gearing up to go to Glacier.
Yes.
But you're way ahead.
Yeah.
No, and we want to talk. I do want to
get
talk
there.
about that for
I'm not way
sure.
ahead.
Your head killing
I'm
me.
not way ahead.
So
I'm right on task.
you're way off task.
I'm right on task.
You don't even know what
news
the
has
task.
been
You
delivered.
don't even know what the task
For
is.
crying out loud. You
Isn't
want to
he a
talk about
subordinate?
hungover guys? I'm talking about what we were going to be doing that day. That's
Thank
the more
you,
important
Jeff.
shit, don't you think?
Thank you, Jeff. Is he being insubordinate right now?
He's always insubordinate, just to whatever degree.
You're superior to him. If you need to pull some rank, just do it, dude.
I already did. That was what we had determined already, that Glacier
You're
was
right.
open.
You're right. And we were excited. Yes. But the debauchery
No, we
started.
didn't. We did not know Glacier was
You're
open.
Oh, yes, we
technically,
did.
technically.
No, we didn't.
I
Not-
didn't.
Not when
Yes.
you woke up.
He knew, but we hadn't been related that information yet. I wasn't related that till till we left Popeye after we picked up Mike. But that's my fault because the other guys knew it. So just start.
So anyway,
No, it was after we picked after we picked up Mike.
after we picked up,
then it was.
We'll get there.
All right,
let's go chronologically
let's
here.
Let's stay linear.
Jesus
let's stay very
H.
linear
This
here.
is a shit show. This turned a real damn mess here.
Episode 2 is a shit show. Go ahead.
Jesus, going off the tracks already.
Some of us knew what we were doing.
When you were sleeping. When so
Jesus, the fuck do you know that?
so when I came home from the bar that night, I am walking into a dark hotel room, trying to keep the lights off to be polite to my roomie.
Who was LD?
And what do I step in? Somebody got a little bit sick on the floor. Maybe a
During
few
the
other
night.
places during the night.
And that's
Didn't quite make it to the bathroom.
And that's the picture, dude. I'm chatting here. Somebody asked Mark Arnold, says, what Jeff part of the debauchery? He seems to be avoiding wanting to talk about it. LOL. That's what Mark Arnold says. And I said, no. I said, Jeff, Oscar, and I were in good and went to bed at a reasonable time. So
He did. Yeah,
you
he
were
did.
rooming with LD.
I was rooming with LD. LD went Jack just to form. Now, cold smoke. Apparently, cold smoke is
Again, here, last picture, bro.
yeah,
Because
right.
that's going to be the documentary. It's going to be LD.
Exactly.
And then the next morning is going to be like, I'm already seeing how I'm going to edit this. And it's going to be him, a picture of him coming out to his mic, dude. Go ahead.
Yeah, so he's drinking cold smoke all night long, which he
Brian
loves.
White said he really liked that too. It's a brew up there, right?
Yeah, it is. And I shouldn't say that for sure because I don't know where it came from.
Right, but it was popular up there.
I don't know where it was brewed. It might have been brewed in Whitefish. I can't say that for sure. It may have been. I can't remember. But anyway, yeah. So I come walking in the room. Yeah, and so I step in that. Wasn't real happy about that. So
You stepped in it, dude?
Go clean it off.
You stepped in it?
Oh yeah,
Are you serious? I didn't hear this part.
yeah.
So you get out of bed.
Yeah.
How did you not?
No, I didn't get out of bed. I walked in the door. Like I said, I was keeping the lights off, trying to be a nice roomie, coming because I get in about 15 minutes after him. Figured he'd probably already asleep.
So he trekked on back without you.
Yeah,
Crawled back.
right.
Right.
Goes in the room,
And found the room.
found the
Oh
room.
my God.
Yeah, finds the room. And I'm coming in. I kick my shoes off, barefoot. Son of a bitch. You know, like I said, I was not happy. So I got to go wash my feet off.
I did not know
Soap
this.
up. Yeah. Shit. Crawl back over that. And so it may have gotten a little bit in the room. So what the great
So what
part
you're saying is LD couldn't crawl to the toilet fast
didn't
enough.
quite crawl to the toilet fast enough. So
And by the way, audience, we don't promote this kind of drinking. LD's got a no, I'm teasing. I'm teasing. He just got a little too many.
it is rare form for him, but you know, so that's what was so funny about it.
Right. It is. He
Everybody's been there.
everybody's got to do it a night here and there. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. So Kettle House Brewing Company, by the way, Missoula, Montana.
Oh, Missoula.
Cold smoke or whatever. Go ahead. So you
So
step
what-
in. That's ridiculous.
Oh yeah,
dude.
so I step in. It's like I said, I freaking, I'm like, son of a bitch. Of course, the room smells like, puke. Then, right?
How would you, dude? I don't know how you slept. I don't know what I would have went and got another room.
Yeah,
I would have, because I'm not good with that.
yeah.
I'm not
Pull
good.
the cover over your head and
I
just
couldn't have
suck
slept.
it up, buttercup, go to bed.
I don't sleep anyways, bro.
Because he was just about as bad.
That's pretty nice
That's how
though.
he did.
No, I was
That's
up at 5 the next morning.
That's the military
That's
in
not
him.
what we're
That's the
talking
service
about.
right there.
Yeah.
You learn to just fight through your
Yeah.
roommates puking, dude.
That's right.
Overseas.
Oh, there was no booze overseas.
Oh, you're
so
right. That's right,
we didn't
yeah.
get booze. But no, so I like I said, I was not as bad as I wasn't nearly as bad. I didn't puke. And like I said, I was up at 5 the next morning working out, so I was fine.
Did you sleep?
About 4 hours.
Wow. You could sleep through that smell? I would have vomited, Jeff. I'm not good with that.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys. I mean, I don't do it right away, but if I'm subjected to it for prolonged periods like that, and if I stepped in it, I probably would have spewed.
And that's what I'm going to ask. Now, once you stepped in it, did you just leave it there? Or what did you do?
Yeah, what did you do?
I just left it.
Did you call housekeeping?
The fuck I was going to clean it up.
But you didn't even call operator to go, can you come clean the, or hey, you have, I guess there's no nighttime cleaners probably.
No, I don't think they have the
this
gals
is-
on at night to come clean.
I'm trying to visualize this, bro, but good job. Go ahead.
So-
I'm interrupting you.
Okay. Yeah. So, like I said, so I go to sleep. Next morning, I get up and go downstairs, work out, and what was funnier and shit. So, kickstands up. I think it was probably at 9, if I remember right, the next morning. And I come up, and open the door. And when I open the door from working out, LD pops up out of bed and he just looks at me. You know, he just looks like shit. He's like, "Hey, Leroy," and then just puts his head back down. And literally 20 seconds later, back to snoring. So we went and got some breakfast.
This was a shit show though, because I was ready to go. I got up early as usual, like you did, and I got my drone shots. Beautiful drone shots.
Usual nowadays. In the past, how many times have we waited on you?
Yeah, yes, years ago. Jeff knows we were in Colorado. We were up early every morning than this trip. But yeah, mostly because I'm filming and I'm doing documentary stuff. But yes, in the past when I wasn't documenting stuff, I could sleep a little longer.
What else is funny that I'll go on about this trip is that this incident is that I'll jump ahead. Because LD was obviously worried. He's going, shit. I mean, we're in a nice hotel. This is probably the nicest hotel in Whitefish.
Firebrand.
$250 a night. Yeah, at the Firebrand.
We've been banned from there now. We'll never go back there. Go ahead, Jeff.
So LD keeps checking his bank account, going, shit, how much am I going to get charged for this thing?
For a cleanup.
Yeah, for a cleanup fee.
Because it's on the carpet.
Yep, cleanup. Aisle 5.
Oh, geez.
So, he got nailed. Not terrible. It was actually a lot less than I thought it was, but it took probably a week.
It did. It showed up on his credit card.
Before it showed up on his credit card. He got hammered, and it wasn't terrible.
We're not promoting this type of behavior, by the way, but it can happen. It can happen. And
I'm promoting. It makes for a good story, as long as it's not me.
Oh, Popeye's going to promote the hell out of it on this podcast right here. And hey. That's we're just teasing LD. Some of that will be in the documentary, but it's happened to every single one of us here at some point in our life.
I've done some stupid shit on our rides too.
And probably everybody in the chat room at some point in their life. Yep. You get a few too many in you and the old body doesn't accept it. And that's exactly what happened to LD. And he probably won't do it for a while because he was pretty miserable.
Oh, yeah.
And go from there. He came out that morning. I was out there. I'd already done my drone shots and I had film gear. I'd already been to the coffee shop and worked for an hour on the laptop. And I was waiting because I had camera ready.
Right.
I go,
because he's the guy who's usually giving people shit when they're hungover. Waking up. Well, what's terrible is that we go out and we do this every year. Somebody's got to tie one on a little bit too much.
Somebody's got to overdo it. And Jeff's been the one before.
He has been the one before.
Correct.
VP challenge.
Oh yeah, that was bad night.
VP challenge. VP challenge.
Bad night. Bad night.
No, it was a great night. It was a bad morning.
Stories to this day.
Hey, I got to tell you though, when I saw Law Dog the next morning and I looked at him, looked in his eyes, I was very impressed. He was upright.
Yeah,
it really was.
Well,
especially at that time.
He manned it.
Yeah.
He manned up.
He did.
And that's what you have to do. And not all of our riders did that, did they?
Well, then Squid shows up alone.
Lurch.
Yep.
Lurch. I was not extremely happy with that morning because Lurch, it's 10. We're supposed to be kickstands up.
They're just getting
and Lurch tied it on too. And let me tell you, Lurch can handle he can drink people on the table, but he also
slower in the morning.
He's slower and he can handle his hangovers too. But it's 10 and I go, where's Lurch and Cuz? Oh, they just ordered breakfast and I'm like, are you freaking serious?
When we're supposed to be leaving and they just ordered.
Like we're already late.
Yeah.
I don't want to get in at dark. And I get it. I mean, in the past I've, but still in the dark getting in and I knew the ride we had ahead of us. I was like, really? Are you freaking serious, man?
Remember, you're like, Popeye, go in there and freaking raise hell. Get their asses out of there.
I did. I said, get them going.
I went in there. Are you fucking kidding me? You just ordered? And get your shit together. Hurry up and scarf it down. Let's go.
Correct.
And they did. They hustled.
Because we're not done getting out of this town because what else?
Haven't even left yet.
Who else overdid it?
Squid showed up alone.
Yep.
And
go ahead, Sturgis.
When Squid rode up, see, I thought that they were in our motel somewhere.
Keep your mic.
I thought that they were in our motel somewhere.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they'd stayed at a separate place.
Same here, Jeff.
So
that morning I found out.
And then he asked for where Bones was.
And Bones is Mike.
Yeah, Bones is
right.
Mike.
For the audience.
And it was...
Mike's a member of the big river right here.
The North Crew.
Part of the chapter of the North Crew right here, Lee.
And Squid's a prospect.
And he's a prospect. Yep, there you go.
Right. And he said that he was having stomach problems, so he was going to sleep in. And you and I, and we did not know, except for looking at Law Dog, what the extent of who did what the night before.
Extent.
So it became
he said it so eloquently.
What's the extent of the damage?
It became pretty apparent that he was having the same type of morning that Law Dog was, but he just wasn't going to get out of bed.
Now, for those of you who've listened to part one, you may remember that I said that Bones got into town late. They bombed over from home all
Him
the way
and
to
Squid.
Whitefish. One day, him and Squid, and when they get there, kitchen's closed. So
Russell
they're drinking
Roberts.
on an empty stomach.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's never a good combination. Russell Roberts said we were waiting for you guys because Russell was up there waiting for us. We're waiting for you guys.
Oh, that's right. Because that's right. We had Patreons who were waiting up at Glacier.
So long story short, I just pressed the issue. I said, no, we're not going to leave him there. And so Squid took us back down.
No.
And I agree.
No, we're not going out.
He wanted the route.
Consensus was, though, for the audience, is that the consensus was, and what we were hearing from the Firebrand Hotel, and again, Bones was at a different hotel, was that he's going to catch up with you later.
Right.
And to me, I was like, no, that's not safe. You guys should never be riding by yourself like that. And of course, we want to stay as a team. And he overdid it. Maybe his stomach isn't feeling good, but we should not leave him behind.
Well, that and all bullshit aside is that checkout's at 11.
Yes.
So you're only going to sit there for another half a freaking hour.
Oh, true.
So get your ass up because it's 11. And hey, you want to go out and party the night before? Fine. Look, I've done it. Everybody sitting here in this studio has done it. I'm sure most of you guys sitting in live chat with us tonight have went out and done it. But you know what? When you're with a group and you go out and you overdo it the night before, you man up, you get your ass out of bed and you get up and you ride the next day. Even if you feel like shit when it's 100 degrees, that's what you do.
You won't do it the next night.
And you go. Yeah, you won't do it the next night, more than likely. You might, but it's hard to say.
And I pawned this on Popeye because Popeye's the president of the North Crew, the Wenatchee chapter. And I'm the president of the Mother. And he looks at me and I go, your problem, bro. Get your guy going.
Yeah,
I said, get your guy going. It's your problem, bro.
Yeah, he tells me my crew's a mess. I go, shit.
I said, you got no control over your crew, bro. You have zero control.
So Squid is there. And like I said, he tells us that Mike isn't coming.
Yes, he is.
That Bones isn't coming. Yeah, and Sturgis goes, bullshit. And so we said, let's go get him. So the hotel that they were at was about 2 miles away. So I said, fire up. Everybody gets on the bikes, and we cruise down to the hotel that they're staying on, and we come pulling in, and once again, start circling the hotel. I'm up in the lead, and I talked to everybody later because they're doing the same thing I was, and I'm racking my pipes as we go into the hotel.
Me too.
And the parking lot circles the hotel. So we ride a circle around the hotel.
Oh,
and
just
everybody on their bike is just racking their pipes.
I was trying to keep it quiet, by the way.
I'm sure. So later,
not like that many Harleys circling a hotel. Rumble.
You don't even need to rack your pipes, and you're going to hear them all throughout the hotel. But so I talked to Bones later, and he tells me, he says, he hears us pull in, right? I mean, you got that many bikes pulling in. He tells us he hears us, and he's just going, shit. So we go down.
So he did hear us, huh?
Oh, yeah, he heard us. Yeah, he heard us.
We were doing a complete intervention is what we were doing, Popeye.
Yeah. So we circle, park, go down to the front desk, and start calling up his room. Well, there was two different rooms. Because Squid had his own room, and then Bones had his own room. So we got to figure out what room they're in. And we just keep calling and calling and calling and calling. His personal number or his cell phone finally picks up. Sturgis is the one who got hold of him. Get your ass down here. We're all going together. So he does. He finally mans up.
And I was waiting for him with cameras at the entrance. Everybody, so were you. Yeah. And you don't film much, but Jeff was like, I'm getting this on my camera.
Oh, so here's what else is good, right? So Sturgis gets a picture of him coming out.
Sturgis Jeff, yep.
Jeff gets a picture of him coming out, and he's going to put him on Facebook. And so what Sturgis got to do? Popeye. How do you tag people on Facebook?
It was a trip of Facebook education for Sturgis.
Yeah, so I gotta educate him on how you tag people. So he tagged.
He's getting pretty good.
Let me
dude.
get this straight.
So
we're
he
talking about
tagged
Law
Bones.
Dog and Bones in the morning, and now we're over to me.
Yes.
Is that it?
When all else fails, he just picks on you.
Yes.
Nothing left to talk about.
You are fake news.
Here we go. So I do remember that. Oh God.
So I end up teaching him how to tag people, and he gets them tagged. And what was funny is when it goes back home to all the wives are talking on Facebook because Sturgis Jeff puts on there, one of the members is unable to get up on time from a little bit too much partying the night before. And so all the wives are on Facebook, they're all connected going, oh God, I hope it's not my husband. Oh God, it's not my husband. And Bones' wife, of course, when she finds out it's him, is like, oh, I'm so proud.
Way to sell him out, Jeff. That's how you. That's good though. You need to keep him in check.
Yep. Next time he'll get up on time.
And we did not want to leave him behind. And for obvious reasons, for safety reasons and all that, a guy riding through Glacier National and all that by himself is not a good deal. And we knew we just needed to spur him a little bit, need to prod him a little bit, and it will be in the documentary. And I'll tell you that.
But knowing later what we didn't know then is that if he had come later, we would have been waiting who knows how long for him to get through Glacier on his own.
Correct.
I mean, Glacier was...
Probably wouldn't even went through Glacier National Park, I bet. Because he probably wouldn't have known it was open because the night before we said it was closed.
Yep.
And thank God to Bones for getting too screwed up, because at that point, remember the hotel clerk, which you were talking about earlier, the hotel clerk was the one who came out and said it opened up, that the road had opened.
Oh, good.
And that's when we made the decision to go up and over going to the Sun Road.
Right.
Because they just opened it up.
The night before we thought we were missing it, right?
And so they announced
we were in Whitefish because we had to be.
Right.
Because they were going to charge, or they did charge us
They
already.
charge us ahead of time.
Yeah.
That must be a damn popular hotel if they can get away with that.
And they charged it, or they announced to everybody in North America that going to the Sun Road was open.
Right.
Because everybody was there.
Yep. They'll also charge you, Firebrand will charge you if you vomit on the floor, apparently. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just had to bring that back around.
$125 a stomach load. Yeah.
Oh, see, that's what I mean. That's one for Jeff right there. Good job, dude. Oh, he needed this right there. Yeah. So you did find out, Jeff. Why don't you pick it up there now that we're linear and we're there? Was it you that found out? You and Lurch?
Lurch.
Lurch
was the one that told me.
Even though he had a hangover.
Yep. He's the one that told me that it was open.
He must have heard at breakfast. Because I don't think he was going to look that up on his own, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know where he heard it, but he's the one that told me that it was open.
All right.
And we were elated. So
we were late getting out that day.
And so we had the whole crew and we're at Glacier National Park. I've never been through it. I have some things to say, but why don't you guys talk first and then I'll pick it up from there.
Well, you remember what happened at the gate?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. That'll be on the documentary
we had about a dozen,
maybe.
We had about a dozen bikes.
Yes.
But at that time, it was about a dozen of us.
Yep.
We hadn't come across Russell and Chris yet.
No, we had not picked them up yet, or Jim Demetrius.
Yeah, so there was 11, 12 of us at the time.
Yep.
And so, when you get into and the cars that were lined up all the way back out to the highway, so obviously, like we said, everybody in Montana had heard that they just opened up Glacier that morning. So we kind of get split up a little bit going into the gates. And every once in a while, if you got a lot of bikes, somebody's going to do something as far as pulling in front of somebody and the horns start going off. Well, I hear this horn going off to the left, just honking and honking and honking and honking. I look over my left shoulder, and there at the entrance to Glacier Park, Montana, is my mother and father-in-law.
This is unbelievable, dude. That was crazy,
man. My mother and father-in-law, who are from Port Orchard, Washington, are in this car. They recognize me because we're in Montana. Most of us don't have our helmets on. The helmet law in Montana is 18 or younger, correct?
They recognize the nuclear banana bike.
Yeah, they saw me and were honking and honking.
Not yellow.
So what they were doing is that car that they were in belongs to their grandson, and they were transporting it over to the East Coast. He had just moved over there. And so he needed somebody to bring the car over. So Grandma and Grandpa were driving the car over, and they
going to go through Glacier.
Diverted through Glacier, and
good call.
Yeah, because we were all right there.
What are the odds of that?
Yeah,
incredible. Have you got lottery tickets after that?
No,
because I'm serious.
You got to head to the nearest casino after that.
Correct.
But no, so you got on the other side and talked to them for a while, and yeah, it was just wild. It's just one of those things where the last people that you'd ever expect to see, they're all of a sudden in the middle of nowhere, 2 states away.
Nobody could believe it.
Yeah.
I was like, are you freaking serious, man?
So that was the start.
That was the start.
After we finally got in Glacier.
Yes. And nice guys. They found out somehow we were involved with a club or something. We ended up talking to the guys at the entrance. I don't know if they're park rangers or what they would be, but super nice guys. Mm-hmm. And hooked us up, and Squid got a little military discount, which was pretty cool that they offer that. And with that said, before we head into national.
But was that veteran or career military that got that?
Ooh, I don't remember.
Because Squid was career military.
Maybe that was it.
You were a veteran.
Disabled veteran.
You're right. It was a disabled veteran.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he has a partial disabled. I don't remember what percent, but yeah. So they walked over to him because somebody else had just got through, like you guys were talking about, and he's like, "Wait, what the hell?" And they said, "Yeah, if I think it was active duty or retired, maybe it must have been active duty."
Correct.
It's active duty or disabled veteran, and that's where Squid was like, "Well, yeah, I'm a disabled vet, so yeah, he got to get in for free. Give him his money back."
Freaking sweet. You gotta love that. Hey, Bikeaholics, searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? Zero 3D has just what you're looking for. Check out their wide variety of innovative motorcycle products for Harley-Davidson. Zero 3D's got your back with chrome lighting and comfort products. No modifying, cutting, grinding, or welding for an easy installation. What does that equal? Less time installing, more time riding, which is what we love. Zero 3D has a design team with over 40 years experience. It definitely shows they have a passion for design and innovation. These guys are bikers and care about bikers just like you. They pride themselves on the best of customer service. Got a question? Get in touch with them. Email sales@zero3d.com. Give them a call, 715-808-0027. Zero 3D is distributed in the U.S. by Drag Specialties, in Europe by Parts Europe and Zodiac, and in Asia by Twin Art. Check out your local Harley dealership, but best of all, check right in the law-abiding biker store because we are a official Zero 3D distributor. We will get you hooked up. We have them on the shelf. Big Daddy Kane right now has them in stock, ready to ship to you direct. And by buying from our store, you're going to help support this very platform and the very content and podcasts like this 2-part live event that we are doing, guys. All right, so heading up through Glacier National Park. You guys want to go first, and then I'll give you my opinion?
I've ridden it a few times. If you have never ridden that park, go there. I mean, it is awesome. Obviously, it was extremely busy the day we were there.
But the weather
was the first day, and the weather was spectacular.
Have you ever had that good of weather in there?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
I've been lucky. Every time I've been there, it's been like that. Yeah, I've been really lucky. So I've ridden it. That's the second time I've been there on my bike. The first time on my bike was about 5 years ago when you guys, for those longtime listeners, heard me and LD made this trip up there to the Calgary Stampede. And that was awesome because we went up and over the top at that point, and they had, once we dropped up and over the summit, the road was closed because of construction. They had traffic stopped. And so we actually turned around and were able to take pictures right in the middle of the road, kickstands down, just standing in the road, no cars on the road whatsoever.
Quite different.
Quite different. Quite different. Yeah, riding the clutch the whole time, in the gray area of the clutch the whole time, and
the thing about
not hardly moving.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, and the thing about it being packed like that was that there's lots and lots of different types of turnouts, with the short stone wall and whatnot that you could easily get all of our bikes into for some pretty good photo ops.
And we did.
That day, well,
a few, but not as many as we would have had.
There was always 3 or 4 cars.
You're right.
And all that. We couldn't find a place to do that.
You're right. We had to be specific about the
stop and go uphill. And
yes. What do you think? Have you ever been through Glacier National?
That was my second time riding.
It was your second time. See, so it was my first time. I popped my cherry on Glacier National Park. And let me tell you that unbelievable. And I told you guys in part 1 that between Glacier National Park and Highway 3A coming out of Nelson, coming out of Nelson across the ferry.
Well, after
the ferry.
Right.
Those two things are like head and head for the highlight of my trip. But I was in like I got so much video, I don't know how I'm going to dumb that down into something that's usable because everywhere I looked in each side and ahead and back was like heaven on earth. Like it's such a gorgeous, unbelievable place.
Yeah, I know. And we're getting ahead here, but I'd have to say for me, as far as the dramatic scenery, Banff.
Really?
Oh yeah. Those ice fields and whatnot were awesome.
Yeah. Remind me of Banff. Exactly which part of our trip it was.
Oh, it was when we passed Banff, when we passed the town.
Okay. I'm trying to remember, but what day was that?
Oh gosh, don't throw that stuff at me.
Okay, sorry.
What day it was? Where did we leave when we went through Banff?
Do you remember?
Did we leave Calgary? I mean, not Calgary, but Cochrane.
Was it Cochrane? Cochrane, you go through Banff.
Right, Cochrane. Then
okay, really?
Yeah,
better than Glacier.
I thought so. For me,
really? No, it's good. That's what I love to hear.
Yeah.
Had you been? Because
everybody has their own thing.
Had you been through there before, though?
Banff, no, but I mean, some of those.
I mean, that could be part of it. Just you didn't know what to expect.
No, but I mean, those you saw. They had signs that would lead you over to those ice fields, and you could see them from the highway. They were just awesome.
You're right.
But if we'd had more time to ride back into there where those ice fields were, that would have been incredible.
No kidding.
I agree, and that probably would have been number 3 on my list, or the top 3.
Yeah.
No, that's good. I love hearing. That's what I want to know. Is what part of the trip was just absolutely amazing for you. And Glacier National Park. Enough said. We stopped at the summit, met some cool bikers. motorcyclist, the guy with the dog on, gave him stickers. We just, this whole trip, and that's part of our mission, is to meet as many bikers as we can. I love talking to bikers and finding out their history and where they're from, and of course connecting and handing out stickers and all that kind of stuff, and a whole bunch of new listeners, and sometimes people that are listening to us already. And that's one of the most cool parts. And we met a couple people at the summit that we got connected with. Now, interesting thing. So here we go. So we're going up, Popeye and Jeff, we're going up we're still heading up, gaining elevation towards the summit. I look off to my right, and you hot buddy's panting. You know it's hot up here because the dog just started like freaking panting. Poor boy, you need a beer. But we're going up. I look off to my right, and I recognize quickly, and I have my GoPro on at that time. It's freaking patron Jim Demetrius standing on one of the turnouts with a stone wall. And I'm like, it's freaking Jim. And Jim sees us. He must have recognized us coming up because he knew about what time. And he's looking at me. And I ride right up with the GoPro on, and I put my hand out, dude, and high five him. He's not on his bike, but he's standing off his bike. I give him a high five because I realize he's probably going to meet us at the summit. So I was like, okay. And then later we'll talk about, we met up with some other patrons too. But Jim actually was waiting for us in that much traffic, recognized us, and had the forethought to come out to the fog line. And I was like, high five.
And how long had he been there?
He saw us right away because you were at the back. Right. I'm at the front. And as soon as I came around the corner there, he saw me.
Because he's ridden with us before.
Oh, yeah, so he's ridden with us. He's met us all and hung out. Yeah, exactly. Sturgis and whatnot, and hung out a couple days there. But yeah, so he's out. Yep. And I'm yelling at him, we're going to the summit. We're going to the summit, because as many bikes as we had,
So you recognize him too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, good for you.
We couldn't get into the turnout. So I was telling him, go to the summit and meet us up there, because that was our next stop. We were going to stop up at the top.
Yes. Good call. So done with the summit. Beautiful. Stop there. Talk to a lot of people. Bam, down the backside, because we need to meet patron Chris Lezak and Russell Roberts, who are waiting for us at the Snow Goose Grill, right? Is that where they were waiting for us?
Right outside the East Gate.
Okay. Oh, perfect. See, right outside the East Gate of Glacier National Park.
And they were probably waiting a little longer than they wanted, just because of all the traffic.
Right.
The morning was a little slow, but I mean, just the traffic was ridiculous getting up there. Just stop and go and stop and go.
I'll tell you that the backside going down it's not as climatic.
No, it's not.
The going up, it's kind of a letdown, but it's not terrible.
No.
But after that climax going up of that much beauty, and then
the west side of it is much more.
Yeah, I agree.
To me, anyway, it looks like it.
It's a must. Go through it. So we met up with Chris Lezak, and this is our first meeting up with a few of the patrons ahead of time, so to speak. Because this is the cool thing about the patron community, is they're not only in the live chat right now, and I'm sorry I haven't been paying attention a whole bunch to it, but we've been talking so deep about Glacier, but the patron community is so evolved now, and it's such a community. Aside from us, we monitor it, and it's a platform. Our Shumanator, another $5 frickin' super chat. Awesome, guys. If you want a super chat, there's that money sign in the lower corner. Keeps us going. Appreciate it. He says, can't leave part 2 hanging. Loving the live podcast. That's why we do it in the sweatshop. But the patrons were already, I'm not going to get into it deep, but a lot of these patrons are meeting on their own now in our private Facebook group, and they're realizing the value, because not everybody has access like we do. We can go anywhere in the world right now and pretty much have a patron hookup and hospitality, and that's a great thing. But these patrons are realizing they too, now in that community, can get hooked up, and they did that, and they're riding together. And a lot of them got together and rode to Canada for this. They hooked up long before we did, like Chris Lezak and Russ Roberts, and their patrons meeting up together before they meet up with us.
And met up from all over. It's not like these guys live next to each other in towns. One lives in Tennessee, one Kentucky.
Yes.
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, so you got people from all over the place, all over the country, that are meeting up to ride together. Like I said, it ain't like it's neighboring towns.
Right, and I never knew the group was gonna happen with Patron when I started it, but it is what it's become, and it continues to snowball like that. So, with that said, before we get into the complete patron meetup, which we will get into, we want to thank some patrons. So let's just do that. What do you say about that, Popeye?
I say that's a good idea.
Oh, look at this. We got a bunch of them. If you want Jeff to handle part of it, he can. Otherwise, you can just rip right through them, bro. Go for it.
We want to thank Michael House of Haverhill, Maine. Is that Maine or Massachusetts? Damn it, I don't know what the MA is.
I can't remember.
What's MA? Somebody help us.
Hang
MA.
on.
MA. What is that? Maine or Massachusetts? Now you killed me. You took it off the screen.
No, that's
It's
all right. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Massachusetts, I believe, isn't it?
Let's
It's
do
Maine,
that.
MN. No, that's Minnesota.
State abbreviation.
We're looking it up.
We're looking it up.
Stand
We don't want to
by.
be wrong. You think it's Maine?
I don't know.
Which one do you
he's
think
just
it is?
making shit up.
M-E is Maine.
MA is
ME,
Massachusetts.
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 All right, back. Go.
So anyway, we're back. John didn't give a last name of Bayonne or Bayonne, I think. Bayonne, New
Bayonne.
Jersey. He's a top tier. Tom Cruise.
Dude, I didn't know Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise is listening to us.
Church of
That's good
Scientology.
stuff.
Mhm, Church of Scientology. Sweet.
Highway to the Danger Zone of Bay Shore, New York. Thank you, Tom. We appreciate it.
I like you, Iceman.
Randy Stewart of Las Cruces, New Mexico. I've been to Las Cruces. Down there for training one time. Top tier member, thank you, Randy. James Ray of
Not sure.
We're Not Sure, and Aaron Christofferson of Molalla, Oregon. Top tier member. Robert Pence of Thornton, Colorado. Also top tier. Todd Poole of
Arcanum, Ohio.
holy cow, that could be
Arcanum.
top tier as well. Arcanum's probably more correct. Joseph Edward of Massapequa,
Massapequa.
New York.
See, Jeff knows.
Yes, yes, it is.
LawBuddyBiker.com/Patreon. Patreon. That's right. You too can pledge a certain amount per piece of content. No risk. You can put a monthly cap. That's right. You can get in the private Facebook group. You can get t-shirts. You can get, if you're top tier, like a lot of these guys, access to our premium videos. It all helps support us. It all helps continue down the road and what we call the biker revolution. It's the only reason we exist. We have a lot of other things going on, but our patrons truly, and in this live chat, and you're going to hear here in a moment about what they did for us when we went to Canada, and it's going to make you realize how important and how you too should become part of that community. We've already talked about them meeting up and riding together and meeting us up there, but it gets deeper than that. As we grow our patron community, we have them signing up daily. As you can see, we're trying to thank 9 at a time now. They're signing up so fast. It is truly, Jeff, a revolution that I never knew that it would become. So where are we at? So we're through Glacier National Park. We meet them up. Nothing a lot, unless you guys have about the Gray Snow Goose Grill. We had lunch there. The crew, Russell Roberts, Jim Demetrius was there because he had hooked up with us.
Chris Liezak, is that how you say his last name?
Lezak.
He
Russell
was
Roberts.
putting in there. He was earlier in chat that he's from Wisconsin. He talks funny.
Oh, good. Yeah, he talks funny. How does he talk?
Me and LD were giving him garbage. A couple of the other guys on there.
He's a good sport too, isn't he?
He is.
Because he gets it. He can hang with us any day.
But all the Canadians and some of the other guys were from around the country, and we're telling them, hey, when you watch a movie out of Hollywood, whose accents do they have? West Coast accents. So me and LD are telling these guys, you guys are the ones that sound funny. Not us from here.
I love it, man. Let's see. Do that. I'm in chat. Yeah, good guy. And we met him. We met him down in Sturgis. You met him too, Jeff, when you were down there. And your memory's so good. I'm sure you remember every bit of it. Your memory has been spot on this podcast, by the way.
What memory's that?
No, yeah, your good memory. Like it's better than
where am
mine.
I?
It starts scaring me about my age and where my memory is because, he's remembering a lot of stuff. So Chris and Russ, we rode into Cochrane, Alberta, right? That was our destination pretty much after the Grey Goose.
Yeah.
Or
Weather
the Snow
started to
Goose.
suck too.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Well, it did. As soon as we had a pretty good photo op there at the crossing in Alberta. Do you remember the crossing there? That's the one that sticks out to me. The gal, there was a gal there at the crossing. Mm-hmm. And did you notice her technique?
The one you were hitting on?
No.
That one?
No. Her technique was
sorry.
she was asking this. She would ask you questions, expanding on whatever it was that she asked the guy before you.
So she was hitting on you.
No.
She didn't ask me shit.
So she went.
They weren't personal questions. They were just, who are you guys? Where are you from? What do you do for a living? And she would
She didn't
expand with
ask
the next
me
guy.
I missed this.
So I went through.
She didn't ask, no, I'm good. This is a good story.
Somebody would give an answer on something, and then the next guy that comes up,
She must have been done.
She would expand on it.
Because I was
And
at
you
the
could
back.
tell
She didn't
that's
ask
what
me
she was doing.
shit. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that's what she was doing.
So
Good
LD
interdiction
goes
technique.
through in
She was
front of.
verifying whoever they were before her.
Make sure
before
it's
us.
correct.
She was verifying it with the next guy.
She asked you, are you a pedophile?
No.
Okay.
She left that out.
That was nice of her.
Yeah.
So LD goes through in front of me, and we get up there, and she's asked me, she goes, so your friend in front of you says that you need to be brought inside for a more thorough search. And I go, Sweet. And her friend behind her, who's a blonde, was actually pretty good looking. And she's laughing. And then she tells me, she goes, actually, it's going to be the guy who's doing it. And so my response was, well, can I have a couple beers at least first?
Nice, dude. So she was kind of...
Then they were both laughing. They're
She was pretty friendly.
Time. Yeah.
Yeah, she was pretty friendly. You're right. That's interesting that you said that because, by the time she got to me, she must have been really bored because she didn't ask me anything. But she must have been satisfied that we were not like terrorists.
Then we got a pretty good photo op at the entry into Alberta.
Ooh, yeah. Let's talk about that.
We had Russell Roberts.
That's what Russ came through on that one.
Yeah, so Russell Roberts, we were at the entrance. We're right next to the Alberta sign.
Yeah, he's down on the ground. I've got my motorcycle in front of the sign for Alberta. And if you
Welcome to Alberta.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you guys go to the LAB website right now, I noticed that the picture that you put up on one of the first ones you'll come to is us in front of that Alberta sign. And anyway, we got Russell Roberts is laying down on the ground to get a picture of me. At first, it was just my motorcycle, and we got the whole crew in there. And he's actually laying on the ground to get it the angle that he
did
wanted.
The splits,
that's how
bro.
professional
he
is.
did the splits.
He did do that too.
Straight up.
That's the one.
That's the one.
That's a good one.
So
there.
he did the Russ. I didn't know Russell was that flexible. I'm not going to lie to you. And Russell, but he takes it seriously. That's with his iPhone 7, I believe. And that's what he brought on the trip. But he has some awesome gear too. He just can't pack it all like me. But he dude, straight up did the splits, and he knew he's in a rush. And I told Russell, I said, because I do documentary and videography and stuff, and we talk a lot. And I go, you see what I deal with now? Like, everybody's in a rush, and they don't care how good the shot is, but they appreciate it when you get the shot like this. But they don't realize how much of a rush you're in to get that good shot, because everybody was getting bored by then, and he's a sport. He gets the crew. But that shot, it's a low shot, and it's up at us, and it turned out good. The only person that's hidden, that's not his fault, is Indian John back there. You see that? Mm-hmm. But he was in a rush, man, and those photos turned out absolutely great.
And that right there, that photo was the last decent weather we had on that ride that day.
Good call on the ride that day.
That day, yeah.
Yes.
You remember when we...
It got cold, we coated up, and we were to 100
when we
degree
got gas,
temps.
everybody had to gear up. Mm-hmm. It was cold. That way all the way to Calgary.
Yep.
Or Cochrane.
It did. And it wasn't cold in the scheme of things. It was cold because we're used to 100 degree weather, and our bodies were not acclimated and ready to do that. So what other, they rode with us to Cochrane, Alberta. There's not a lot to say about Cochrane, Alberta. We ended up, now, let me tell you this, Jeff and Lee, we did meet that night. We rolled in, and who's there to welcome us? And I'm doing it completely from memory, Jeff, like you. We had John Patton at the corner.
John Lister was at the corner.
And
John Patton.
That's where we got the shirts.
Yeah, but remember,
Kubel,
we're rolling into town.
Yes. 'Cause we already had Russell with us. We already had Chris Lezak with us, Jim Demetrius, but John Patton, Jason Kubel's there.
Yep.
John Lister is there.
Mark
Arnold. Yes.
Yeah.
But when we were coming in, you're talking about when we're rolling in to go and meet John Patton, right?
Before we got to Cochrane, bro.
Oh, okay.
Remember
Roger.
that night?
No, we did not have John Lister then.
Yes, John Lister was there.
he was there.
He was there.
Yes, he was there.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I have it on the documentary. Huh? It was at that little gas station, and there's the mini mart right at the corner where all the crazy drivers were.
Yep.
We kept seeing people go by. We're like, holy shit, there's some crazy drivers up here in Alberta.
That was a bad intersection.
It was. But Jason was there. Yes, John Lister was there, John Patton, and Mark Arnold. And we met up with them briefly, talked, got photo ops, did some documentary video, and bam, we're on the bikes headed back, which is about 30 minutes north of there, right?
The kid.
Yeah, I lost you. I was talking about we were rolling into that gas station.
Yes.
And
when we're there, and John Lister pulled out of some side street.
Yes.
And I looked over at LD, and what's funny is the guys who were riding our crew, it's got to be funny riding behind us, because me and LD are usually yelling back and forth to each other, and we ride real tight.
We're talking high five and holding hands and shit like me. Yeah, exactly.
Sitting there bullshitting going in there. But anyway, he pulls out in front of us, and I look over at LD. I go, "Hey, is that guy with us?" And LD's like, "I don't know," because we couldn't tell. The helmet on, and pulls out in front of us. Obviously, he knew we were coming, and LD had been texting with him, letting him know we were coming. So yeah, he pulls out in front and kind of guides us down to the gas station.
Yep.
The younger guy with the Red Road King.
Jason Kubel.
Jason, he was there, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, he was there.
Yeah.
It's the first time I met him in person.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm not going to get deep into this yet, but I just want to mention who else besides us can go and have a welcome like that. You know what I mean? Like guys like waiting for us and telling us, here's the deal, and here's the good rides and that kind of stuff. Just amazing to me. And they were there a day before. The actual patron meetup wasn't until the next day, but they wanted to show us that Canadian hospitality.
They did.
We'd never had that, and it's great. It's great to feel welcome, and have somebody that you can trust meeting up like that. So it was quick. It was brief. It was fun. But then it was about 30 minutes north. We needed to get to Cochrane, Alberta, right? Yeah.
Right.
To our hotel there. And where did we stay? Let's see. We're getting, let's see, leave right fish to Cochrane. So we stayed at the Days Inn and Suites in Cochrane. Not a whole bunch to Cochrane. Pretty beautiful, pretty clean. It was a very small town. And we pretty much just got checked in, and then we went to Boston Pizza, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to choose from, guys, honestly, in Cochrane, Alberta. But I will tell you the interesting thing. Go ahead.
We didn't go down into the town, though. When you drop down that hill,
see, I didn't know that. I thought that was
if
Cochrane.
If you look down to the right, that's where the town was. There's a bunch more over there.
That's why we should ride these towns.
Yeah.
See
There
what I'm
was
saying?
all kinds of area over there. This was just what was next to our hotel.
Dude, I didn't know that. I thought that was Cochrane.
Nope.
I don't think so.
Nope.
Dang it.
No,
See,
there was a bunch more to it.
That's why we should ride this stuff,
Yeah.
I saw some of it with the drone the next morning. I got great drone footage, and I thought maybe it was a different town. Whatever. Let's see. Cochrane. Let's do population.
It's basically a Calgary suburb.
Yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah. I mean, it looked like, a decent sized town. It wasn't, that big, but
25,000.
so I mean, decent size.
So there you go. Yeah. So I guess there was more to it. I got it from the drone. I saw it. I didn't know if it was suburbs of or what was going on.
Our hotel was basically on the opposite side of the highway.
I'm tracking.
On the top of the hill.
I'm tracking. Okay. So we went to Boston Pizza. Some of the patrons sat down with us. We had dinner. There wasn't much in that night. We were beat. And it was cold that day. And a lot of us were tired. It was a lot through Glacier National Park. A lot of the guys, of course, like LD getting up and not feeling well. And they powered through. And Mike, they wanted nothing. All they dreamed about was pillows all day.
Yeah.
And they hit their pillows. Everybody pretty much hit their pillows after Boston Pizza. It was a night to, because we had a big day the next day, which was day 4, which was Patron Day, which we have a lot to say about Patron Day. But you know what? We love our patrons, Popeye.
We do. We love them.
But we never balk. We never balk at a flat donation if that's the way you want to support us. We'd rather have you as a patron because we can get to know you better in the private Facebook group. We want to give you a t-shirt. We want you to have access. But hey, I get it. And we'll definitely take the flat donations. This is the SFMC, which is our club, guys. The Sworn Few Motorcycle Club. The California crew. Straight up, substantial group donation they put together and donated to the law-abiding biker cause right here. If you guys don't know, we haven't talked a lot about it. The California crew. Oh yeah, a bunch of probies.
Bunch of probies trying to speed it up or something.
That's funny. And I told them we were going to be live tonight. It's a California crew. The Sworn Few MC is expanding carefully, and they're in prospective status. And we're going to go down in September. They've been up here. We're going to go down there, and they are getting closer and closer to full chapter status, and we will officially, as the Sworn Few MC, which is a law enforcement motorcycle club that we're all involved with here that you hear about, we will have if all goes well, a California crew right down there in San Bernardino County. Huge county. James Kawara of Hayward, California, substantial donation. John Bristol of Urbana, Illinois. Charles Collins, not sure where. Susan Carey of Deerfield Beach, Florida, substantial donation. My gosh. Donald Cronk of San and Zelmo, California. lawabidingbiker.com/donate. We appreciate you guys. And thanks for being part of the biker revolution. You too can take action. There you go. So we are on. Do you have anything else to say about that day, or we want to pick it up on Patron Day?
Let's pick it up on Patron Day.
Here we go. Do it. I need a drink.
We're doing it.
I'm getting parched.
So the morning, the 4th day, we go down and we meet up with the patrons. And what was the name? It was
John Patton.
I know it was John Patton, but what was the name of the town? Do we want to give it out?
Yeah. It's actually, let's just do this.
It was
it's 30
Fort Bragg.
Yeah, Fort Bragg. It's 30 minutes south of Cochrane.
Right.
30 miles or so, where we met with them the first day.
Right. And we're
right
so
down
we're
the
about
road.
45 minutes or so outside of Calgary. So we meet up with John Patton there in Fort Bragg and some of the other the patrons, and which a lot of them obviously we already mentioned. Got a little.
They had a whole ride plan for us,
Yeah,
basically, way ahead of time. This all went on in the private Facebook group, the patron only, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so they're like, we're hooking you up. Oh, you know what I didn't mention? Real quick, and I don't want to backtrack you, but we need to mention it. I started in part 1 of 2 showing this shirt, and during the break,
yeah.
we got these shirts the day before, the night when we showed up in that parking lot and John Patton was there. He had a
Bragg Creek.
Bragg Creek, yes.
Bragg Creek.
Good call.
Russell corrected me.
Oh, good. Russell in the private chat. Yep. There you go. Russell, patron, Russell Roberts. He gave us our t-shirts, which turned out unbelievable. Here's the deal. I just want to say this up front. The kind of community that is developed, and John Patton would not let Law Abiding Biker Media pay for these shirts. I offered over and over. No, it is something he wanted to do. And when I talk about how we're evolving, Jeff, we're starting, we didn't know how it was going to start. When we first met our first patron, Gregory Gaxiola, down in California, patron back in the day, we didn't know. I still don't know what I'm doing. But here we have patrons who are so involved that they're willing to pay for that. He, again, paid for the whole meal. We'll talk about that. He wouldn't take any money. He also started something that I would have, I don't have all the answers on what we should do, but he started this tradition, I think, and I told him that, I go, okay, I guess now every year on a trip, which we're probably going to have a patron meetup day, at least the one day, that it's kind of cool to like have a t-shirt now. So we kind of need to organize that. It's almost like a new tradition was born. Cause it is really cool to have a t-shirt like this. And it was, so good job on that. And I think next year we'll talk about this. It's going to be a hard act to follow. Not going to lie to you. These guys.
Who's going to try?
These Canada guys, you know what? I'm not sure. It's going to be hard for the next city or state that we go to be able to follow the footsteps of Canada. So go. Sorry, I wanted to backtrack. I want to give thanks for the shirts and stuff.
Inside every Canadian is an American just trying to get out.
Oh, God. Oh, jeez, dude. Oh, my God. That was horrible.
It was.
Horrible. Horrible. Go ahead. We love them. Yeah.
So, these guys take us on this awesome ride.
Incredible ride.
Onto Highway 40.
I don't remember all the highways. That's the only one I remember.
Highway 40 North.
Yeah, it was Highway 40 North. I don't remember what highway you had to take down to get to Highway 40 North.
If you guys want to get the ride, I would hit John Patton up in the private Facebook group. I bet he could send it to you, or John Lister. Go ahead.
So, absolutely beautiful ride going up through there. Very little traffic. We saw some animals.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
But you get up above the tree line, and it's like, you're just up in, it's like, well, it is the Canadian Rockies. But
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Attaboy.
It's probably a little southeast of Banff. And it's just absolutely an incredible area. They had that for a spot to go. We would have never known about that area had we not had this inside information from these guys. And so to take us up there and to ride us through that, absolutely beautiful.
And these guys, we did see some wildlife, a mountain goat, which I got some gate.
The one that wouldn't move. Right?
Oh yeah, I got some GoPro.
Everybody had to ride around it. He wouldn't move.
No, but here's the deal, Jeff.
It looked like he was eating the asphalt.
He was. No, he was eating roadkill.
Yeah.
He almost
asphalt.
bucked my ass.
Yeah.
Okay. Lurch was a little worried.
I would have too if I was him.
Good one. Thanks for backing me up,
was
Jeff.
Eating. Yeah.
He was eating, and you know me, I got to get the shot. I pull it right next to that mofo with my GoPro and my hand out. And I think I got a little close, and he turned. And I thought I was going. I was like, "Oh, he's ramming me." And Lurch said afterwards, he's like, "Dude, that you probably got a little too close to him." I go, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did." And I got video of the other one hopping off the road, but that was cool. Now these guys take us, and we stopped. We made multiple stops. Here's the hospitality, man. This is what I'm talking about. These guys were prepared. What do we do when we get to our first stop?
Breaks out the cooler beer.
Breaks out the Canadian beer, bro.
Molson.
Molson
Ice.
That's good stuff, too. Molson's good stuff.
And it tasted good because it was ice cold, and I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, exactly.
Other people's beer always tastes better.
Yeah, exactly.
These guys went above and beyond.
They did. I did not expect that all of a sudden. Hey, you want a beer? Holy shit. Where
not
did
only
that
did they have
come
enough for us, they had enough for everybody there.
Exactly.
Where were the
Out
people,
in the woods.
Where were the people from in that camper? The Netherlands?
Oh, yeah. We talked to some cool people from the Netherlands.
They always approach us.
Yep, they do. Bikers. And we look like friendly bikers.
It's just jumping ahead.
Besides
again.
Popeye.
At Banff, you had them coming off the bus, and the first thing they do is take pictures of us.
Right. Kind of like the Asians in California.
Right. They take pictures of us. Here, there's this dramatic mountain scenery. What do? They start taking pictures of the bus lined up.
You're right. Want to sit on the bikes.
So these people from the Netherlands came over, barely could speak English.
You're right. They've been to Canada 10 times, they said.
Yeah. But they just walked right over to us.
They did.
And they didn't stop until we left.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind of cool stuff, though. You know what I mean? You don't get to meet
nice
people like that.
They were nice people.
Super nice. And we're the friendly bikers. There you go. And we cranked down a Molson Ice. God, it tastes so good. I took off to get some shots of the crew pulling out. And then we stopped again. Now we stopped for lunch. It was a pretty jam-packed day. Lunch wasn't spectacular, but I get it. There's nothing up there. And John Patton and Lister had a place there, a convenience store. I got some great drone footage. Spectacular drone footage at that lunch. You guys met while I was doing drone stuff and documentary stuff. You guys met with some other motorcyclists there. I saw you and
Tina,
see?
Tina, she was a talker.
You get her number?
No.
All right.
Must have been good looking.
Pussy.
No, she would just walk right. She just walked right in the.
She was
from that area,
and she's not a Harley girl.
No, neither one of them.
Which is cool. Which is why we support all motorcyclists.
Neither one of them had Harleys.
Yep. And they learned who we were. And a lot of people are looking forward to if they made a part of this documentary on our YouTube channel. We'll see. But she was cool. And I didn't get to talk to her a lot. But you guys gave her stickers, cards. A bunch of people came over to my saddlebags because I always have shit in my saddlebags. And guys were yanking stickers and cards and stuff out of my saddlebags, Lurch and all them, which was cool. That's what it's all about. I think I grabbed a Lunchable and ate it while I was flying the drone. We were out of there. Up over the summit. Then we hit some cool side windy roads, and I don't remember all which they were. I couldn't keep track on my GPS. Again, if you want to, in the private Facebook group, John Patton, John Lister probably will give you the exact route we took. Do you guys remember any of that?
Not much.
Exact route, but it's just beautiful. That's all I can say. Stellar ride, stellar hookup. Here we go. End up right there at John Patton's house. What did your guys take on this deal, dude? I mean, we knew that they were going to hook us up, but why don't you guys just talk about this? I want to get your perspective because I have my perspective, but
yeah. So, I mean, I knew we were going to show up there, and, I've been told that we were having dinner at his house, and what an unbelievable host. The hospitality. Here's somebody who hasn't even met any of us. He'd met at,
Sturgis.
Sturgis. So he'd met some of us at Sturgis, not even all of us.
He was an early adopter of Law-Abiding Biker Media and a supporter as a patron, yes.
Right.
He got us.
So he had not met all of us, though. So he'd met us a year before. But anyway, so he'd only met us, one
2
time.
years before.
Yeah,
we
a couple years before.
Yeah.
Obviously a supporter of the show and whatnot. But to bring us out to his house, beautiful house, and just the hospitality he shows and puts together awesome meal. John, that awesome. I mean, we've been smoking food all day out there. He's got some yard games set up out there, which was what the hell was that game called?
Bocce ball,
which I had to dominate Cuz and Lurchin.
Oh,
show them what was up.
Here we go.
Poor bastards. One of these days they'll find a game they can beat me in.
Popeye was putting his baby oil on before he played.
Yeah. I told him maybe we could have a spelling bee one of these days. They might be able to beat me in that.
Russell Robert says the food was great. Go ahead.
So yeah, fantastic food. John's wife, Tina, to host us out there.
Good memory,
as
bro.
Well.
Good memory.
And
except that it's written up there.
I mean,
that's because I wanted to remember. Yes,
well,
she was a wonderful lady.
Yeah,
wonderful, classy lady.
Yeah, she's on Facebook, so I see their.
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
Yeah, well, I see their posts with John and stuff on Facebook. But just absolutely, fantastic people to come out there and host. Easy to talk to, a lot of fun. Showing us around his place and whatnot. Just really just treated us like good friends.
Oh, like we've known each other for years, like better than I get treated from my own friends.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Like you go to your friend's house, like they're like, hey, you want a pizza pocket? You're like, at least I gave you guys burgers tonight, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. And wouldn't let you foot for anything like the beer, it's like, hey, I've got the beer supplied for everybody.
And that's Canadians though, right?
Right.
Like we train with Canadian. I do a lot with motors and I'm a firearms instructor.
Yep.
Dude, holy shit. These guys, the hospitality, I don't care what you say about Canada. It's fucking hospitality. These guys care about that still. A lot of States people do too, but not as much. Like it's a big deal to them. Like to make you feel welcome. I feel, yeah. Jeff, what do you have? Give me some insight. Give me some. What do you think about all this?
About the Canadian hospitality
and John Patton and this whole patron meetup.
Well,
it was a great break right here. Let me tell you this. Like we eat out.
They were all ready for us. They were all ready. They were all ready for us. I don't know if they knew how many of us were going to show up.
They did.
They did know the numbers. They
talking through LD
because it was just perfect. Mm-hmm. It was almost. But we were there less than an hour before we were eating, wasn't it?
This planning went on for like 6-8 months.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They knew.
Didn't miss a beat. Yeah.
And riding back now.
Beautiful piece of property. House too. Wow.
Wow.
Something. It really was.
It was. Riding back there, getting to his house, I didn't know where he lived. Mm-hmm. I knew where he lived, what city, but I didn't know. I've never looked at a picture of his house. You go back in this place. This is in like forest land, and he has a great chunk of property. Beautiful backyard, beautiful lawn. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's cutout in the forest. I want to describe this like it's cut out for his property. Everywhere around his property is trees. Okay, pine. I don't know if they're pines, but whatever, forest trees. This beautiful tents in the backyard and a fire pit and a teepee and very just well taken care of.
Very kept up. Tina said that they lived up there over 20 years.
Wow. Yeah. See,
over 20 years.
And she was super nice.
Yeah, oh yeah.
She welcomed us. She came out to the motorcycles. What a classy lady. John Patton, what a classy guy. These people are top class. I mean, it's just awesome to talk to. And I'll tell you, John Patton, funny. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Did you guys get in any conversations with John? Holy shit. He had me rolling crying.
Oh God. He was telling us some conversations that I can't repeat on here.
Right. Yes,
and he's like,
correct. We wouldn't repeat them here. Or some of the stuff we said. We would, right. Yeah, that's patron to patron.
Yes. So hard at the stories that he was telling us about when he had family living in his house.
Oh, that was the story I was involved in. I was
dying.
Yes, I'm trying to find this. Okay, here we go. So I just want to mention this really quick. So here's the patrons that were there: Mark Arnold, John Patton, John Lister, Jason Kubel, Russell Roberts, Jim Demetrius, Chris Lezak, and Jonathan Holan. And we'll talk a little more about Jonathan a little bit later. But he was there too, and he's from the same area as Big Daddy Kane down there.
He brought the cigars.
He brought the cigars. Mm-hmm. And what a hookup, man.
Yeah, it was.
And he sent me home with 2. But here's the deal.
Now, are you going to talk about where he rode from?
Yes, we're going to talk about that too. Yes. He's a hard charger. Mm-hmm. So, just a great event. Bocce ball going on. They had every bit of hors d'oeuvres and food and the ice chest full of beer and drinks. And there's nothing you could have asked for or anything that you needed. Beautiful home, beautiful property. John Patton, John Lister, talking to him too. I want to say this, Jason Kubel. I tried to spend each time with patron alone a little bit because I see these guys and I know them, but I don't know them till I meet them in person for reals. But I guess, and I could be wrong, and I'm surmising what a lot of them said, that Alberta, British Columbia is more liberal. And I'm surmising. But when you get to Alberta... Calgary, right?
Just like any big city.
Right,
that was
correct.
That was what I was hearing from them.
And I did too. I heard that, but they're like Alberta, like Cochrane and where we were, is much more in line with our views of where we are, which would be more conservative, right? And I'm not going to get all political. He could live right where we live,
right?
Like John Patton can live in Texas, straight up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's funny. I love listening to some of the politics up there. And Jason Kubel, he had some great, and he's the guy fun to listen to. And he has a total Canadian accent. I could listen to him all night.
Yep.
But he was telling me about a lot. He totally has. He goes, I follow U.S. politics more than I follow our own because U.S. influences exactly what we're probably going to do.
Right.
He's straight up, and a lot of the stuff going up there is bullshit, and they need a change of power. I'm not going to get political, kind of like what happened here. Regardless of what you think about it, we had a change of power, and that's what countries need to upset things, regardless of whether you like it or not. And that's what needs to happen up there, and therefore that they need it. It's kind of been so it was fun to listen to that, and because I'm not completely familiar with their politics. Yeah,
what was fun and funny to listen to is remember when it was shortly after we first got there, and John Patton, Indy, and John were standing over looking at the teepee.
Oh yeah. Oh God. because apparently John Patton has some native, right?
Right.
I don't know. I didn't get to talk about that in this
But John
conversation.
Patton has a teepee
Yes.
in his backyard. And so him and Indy and John were having quite the discussion about this teepee. And I don't know who was schooling who, but it was just funny to sit there and
This is
watch
all we
these
heard.
two.
They were discussing the structural integrity, and I went over to John and Indian John, and I'm like, "Does that meet the code requirements for Indian construction?" He just looks at me like, "You son." And he goes, "Yeah, you know, John. Well, yes, it does, Ryan. You can see him, right? Because he's so serious. He's like, yes, it does, Ryan. I overlooked it, and it has the proper codes for, you know." And I'm just laughing, dude. So yeah, they had a great conversation, and it was fun. You guys play bocce ball. I got some great video. Let me tell the story real quick. We're running long. We gotta get going. Because I know you guys need to get home too. Another almost lost the drone incident. So if you're going to get the great shots, Jeff,
that's right.
you got to risk. You got to take risks. People ask me, how do you get those awesome drone shots? You know what? Because I know that I may lose a drone and it's expensive, but you can't be a pussyfoot if you're going to get great cinematography shots. And so Lurch is he wants to learn the drone because I need more people to do what I don't have time to do. I have to do everything right now. And so I'm doing a pull-out shot, a reveal shot, and I'm kind of doing some yaw while I'm doing it. And Lurch, I'm like, here's how you look at the screen. And I like, see, I'm going to go straight here and I'm getting some great, beautiful shots of his property and the people and everybody that's there. And I go back and again, visual line of sight, but it's deceptive of how deep you are. And there's some other guys over in his driveway, like Jason Kubel and I forget, Rob was over there. Some still guys over by the motorcycles talking. And they're all of a sudden, they tell me afterwards. So I'm surmising what they told me. They're like, they hear this going over them.
I heard it
too. Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
They're like, no, stop. They're I can't hear them because I'm way over on the other side of the property. And I go, here, Lurch. I go, but you see how I told Lurch, this is exactly how it was because I was so cool and collective because I thought I had plenty of room. I go, and Lurch, you see those trees coming? I realize I don't have enough elevation, so I'm going to cut it here. And I didn't cut it quick enough, and it went back and it goes, and all you see is green leaves and shit from John Patton's trees, like getting chopped off and shit. And Lurch is like, oh my God, I think you're hitting the trees. I go, and I see the camera and it's jiggling and I'm getting black and stuff. And I'm going, oh shit, I did hit the trees. And so I'm trying to like power out with elevation and forward. I did not lose the drone. We came and landed the drone and it's like got green shit all over the propellers and stuff. Luckily I brought extra propellers with me to replace. Almost lost the drone again. And that would have pissed me off because I was like, that would have ruined the next day, which I got awesome drone shots. But another close call with the drone. And I'm sorry, John Patton, publicly, if you got a few of your trees trimmed that you did not want trimmed, that was because of me. And so I was a little more careful after that, but got some great shots. We had great conversations. We didn't want to stay and overstay, right? Our welcome.
Right.
And so we left at a fairly decent time. I can't say enough about it. Wrap it up. Anything else before you want to say about the patron meetup? This is the community. You guys need to become patrons. I'll tell you that right now. If you're listening, no, you already are. But if you guys are listening and you've ever thought about becoming a patron, if you want to experience stuff like this, then you have to be in that private Facebook group.
Great day from beginning to end.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely incredible hosts. Yeah. Thank you, John Patton, for hosting us and everybody else who was involved. I mean, absolutely incredible.
Stellar. Going to be hard for the next city to follow that, but I know you guys will try. So let's go on to the next day, which we are. So that was patron. Let me make sure where we are. Do this. Here we are. So that was patron day 5. And we're going to wrap it up here quick, guys. We're going to roll right through this because it winds down. Day 5. Go ahead.
So for me, day 5, I woke up 4:00 in the morning. I had to get back. I had family stuff going on for the 4th of July. 4th of July weekend that we do every year. So I woke up, and so from Cochrane, like you say, was just outside of Calgary.
Was Canada Day while we're up there, by the way?
It was Canada
Go ahead.
Day.
Yeah.
Which Canada Day is basically like the 4th of July. For those of you who don't know, it's just like the 4th of July up there.
Is that distracting?
You threw me all off. So I got up at 4:00 in the morning, me and Squid. Squid had to roll home, take care of some stuff as well. But I put her on about 2 to 3 miles an hour above the speed limit. And
about 1, right? Yep. You're fine. You're in kilometers per hour. There's a grace period with kilometers.
Because I'm not real sure exactly how it transfers over.
Don't need to. Don't worry about it.
Complete ignorance.
Just tell the officer I was going 100 kilometers per hour.
It said 100. I was doing 100. Sorry, I didn't realize the difference. Yeah, because my Harley does not have kilometers an hour. It only has miles per hour, and that's true.
It's true.
So anyway, yeah, 2 to 3 over whole time going home, and wrapped the rubber band real tight. It was just gas and goes for me from
how long did it take, bro?
Calgary, 11 hours.
11 hours. Was that 11-hour saddle time, or was that with breaks and stops in water?
Yes.
That's what I thought. So anyways, 11 hours. Good. Okay. So moving on. So day 5. So you're out. So Popeye and Squid are out. So we're going to finish this up. Popeye, please listen to us and if you chat with the guys, and if you have anything to ask about us, please do. And so here we go, Jeff. Who's left? So we end up in we stay the night in where did we stay?
That was Kelowna.
Kelowna.
But we went through Banff, or the park anyway.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Now, the one thing I will say about Banff, I'll jump in here one more time.
Please.
Is because I leave, and like I say, it's not even sun up yet when I leave, but when I'm going through Banff, if you've never been through Banff, all around it, the entire area is up above the tree line, open face, rock, mountains. You know, you're in the Canadian Rockies, gorgeous. And I'm going through there at dawn. And so the sun isn't even really up yet, but it's hitting those peaks. Wow, incredible. No traffic on the road. Went by one giant bull elk, huge. I mean, it would have been a Boone and Crockett elk, giant. You couldn't beat that. Nobody else on the road. And like I said, the sun just kind of that dawn area, absolutely beautiful.
Awesome, dude.
Riding through the snow fields and stuff that you can see off in the distance. It was awesome. So go ahead and take it back over, guys.
No, that's great. Thanks for bumping in there. Yeah, so we rode through Banff that day, right?
Well, yeah, around Banff.
Around Banff. And people ask me, did you go through Banff? I go, we didn't really go through Banff. We went around Banff.
Yeah.
Which I would have liked, like you, to get in there.
I would have liked to have seen Banff, but traffic was a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys that have been down in there before said we would have had a hell of a time negotiating that many bikes downtown.
And we wouldn't have got in until dark.
We got Leavenworth up there. I think Bones put the best, kind of like Leavenworth on steroids.
Yes.
It's nuts.
It's really nuts in there. So we probably just would have got gridlocked in there. I don't know how much we would have been able to see before we had to get back out because, we had a bit of a trek to get to Kelowna. So we just basically rode through the park. And what I didn't know until we got there was that if you just ride through the park without stopping and whatnot, you don't have to pay. And so,
right.
So they asked if we were going to stop and whatnot, or
we had that discussion, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we just went ahead and rode on through.
I don't know if we should have did it or not, but we made a decision.
We would have
been so late.
We would have had to have set aside more time just for that, and we didn't. And Kelowna was the goal.
Yep.
To get there, and it was a long day's ride,
and it was hot as shit. And with the troubles we ran into,
even without stopping in Banff, we still were 6-7 o'clock before we got to Kelowna.
Oh yeah, with easily. The bike troubles that Justin had, which we'll talk about quickly. Yep. But I think it was a good decision. We'll get it next time.
But
not our last trip to Canada.
Yeah, we would have to set aside a day for that.
Yeah, you're right.
There's quite a bit there you could have really seen. Got up close. Oh, like we spoke earlier about the ice fields and whatnot.
Everybody asked, "Did you go through Banff?" We went around Banff.
No,
I did a lot of other shit. But there's a couple asking me about Banff.
There was a couple guys in the lineup that were not happy about it, and I don't blame them.
I don't either. Realistic is realistic.
Right. Going through the city of Banff sucks.
Right.
I mean, I thought when I went through it, I got stuck in there and it was 95 degrees.
It would have been 100 that day. It was 100 in Kelowna.
It is. You just get stuck in there. It's touristy, hotels.
The highway was packed. Traffic was a nightmare. So you can just imagine what it would have been like in town.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I was there along Banff when we pulled off that the buses would, unload the tourists and they start taking pictures of us.
Correct.
With the dramatic mountain scenery behind us, and they take pictures of us lined up. So, okay, whatever.
So we ended up, our destination that day, Jeff, was Golden. We stopped for lunch. We stopped in Golden, BC. Now our destination was Kelowna, BC.
But it was at that place in Golden that Oscar,
the Fire Pit Smokehouse.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it until
me neither.
He ordered it.
Yep.
And how
so
20 ounce.
Oh God,
20 ounce is monster.
Let's do the
monster burger.
The Fire Pit Smokehouse in
Golden, BC. Golden, British Columbia.
Yep. So we get to this lunch, And Oscar, you know, he doesn't like to brag about it, but I'm not going to lie to you. He's a competitive eater.
Yeah.
And the guy is he eats and he works out hard, but the guy overeats. And I tease him all the time.
He did that,
he totally overeats. It's not good for his body. And I tell him this because that's great. He can gorge, man. The guy can gorge. There's the fire pit smokehouse. It's up there.
Was that on the menu or on the wall?
It was on the menu.
It was on the menu. Okay.
So on the menu, it said if you could eat this burger and all this, that you could get your picture and bio on the on their Facebook page, on the Wall of Shame
or Wall of Fame or some shit like that. Yeah.
And so, of course, what do? Good Popeye is a good friend. I go, hey, Oscar, I'll buy your lunch if you finish that shit. Right? Because I want to see him sick and puking his guts out. Anyways.
A good friend.
Oh, total good friend, dude. Oscar gets this damn burger, dude. And I don't remember, I'm looking it up here. In the interest of time, I'm not going to be able to find exactly what I'm looking for. But all I'm telling you is it's fucking enormous.
It was.
Like double patty, like 10-pound burger, like nobody could eat it. Like Popeye, you couldn't eat it. I couldn't eat it. Jeff couldn't eat it. But nobody realized, I know Oscar better than some people, and I know his eating habits. And I told everybody, I go, that ain't shit for Oscar. And I don't think a lot of people believe me. Now I have this when I do the documentary, this will be a part of the documentary. You guys have to see this because I had a lot of fun with it when I was filming. And Oscar, straight up. Now, here's the deal. So it comes with coleslaw and fries. You got to finish it. You don't even get your meal free, which is bullshit, but he got it free because I bought it. But you have to finish this burger. So I go to the Oscar's bitching because we're all teasing and we're like, you got to drink water in between each bite. You know, there's techniques. You drink water. And he goes, coleslaw is not part of it. Right? It's on his plate. I go, oh no, I'm pretty sure that's part of the challenge. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so I go to this, I'm going to go ask the waitress, Oscar, and I go over to the waitress. Now this is on the documentary because I'm filming it. And I go, hey, does he have to eat the coleslaw with this for the challenge? She's like, we don't really care if they eat the coleslaw, just the burger. I go, Oscar, you got to eat the coleslaw with it.
What a guy.
He didn't hear.
What a guy.
Everybody's like, oh, Oscar, you're screwed. Because they believe me, right? Like,
right.
The documentary is the only people they're going to know. Well, once Oscar sees it, he'll
be pissed.
You got to eat your fries and your coleslaw, Oscar, straight up. That's what she says. And, but by God.
He did.
Oh, it was almost disgusting to watch. Jeez. But he's a machine, man.
But he didn't hold us over. He just kept right on going. They didn't stop.
And he got a free meal out of me, and nice. I got a documentary out of it, and so we're good. So the Fire Pit Smokehouse, look forward to the documentary on that, guys. It was a 20-ounce hamburger with banana peppers, caramelized onions, and some other fries and coleslaw. And I don't think there's many people out there that could do it. He got his Facebook page pick, and he got it on there. We made sure that she put it on there. Oscar's a celebrity. And so we're on our way to Kelowna, Jeff. We had a great ride. There's some beautiful areas.
Yes, there is.
We're just trying to cruise through because I know we're late and you guys need to get home. Some great, I don't know all the highways we stopped on. Is that the
97?
97. And what else? What was that town we stopped in for the break? You remember that, Jeff? I didn't get to document it. We stopped in a town. Remember we went to Starbucks, me and you needed a coffee. Do you have any recollection of this?
On our way to Kelowna.
Yeah, on our way to Kelowna. Didn't we? Yeah, see, yes. I knew your memory would come too.
All right.
I'm looking at the map, but I don't remember the city, but it was busy. Tourists.
You're in the wrong area. That's the way up. You got to go to the left.
Okay.
There you go. Other side.
This way?
Yep.
Okay. And what highway am I
all the way to the left.
Okay. Here?
Nope. Other road. That's the way up.
I don't think we turned off 97 yet.
All the way to the left.
Okay.
There you go. That road. That's the way you're coming down.
Oh, that's the way we're coming down. Yeah, okay.
Go up.
Yeah, this is the last day, but we're up here. We're between 4 and 5.
Revelstoke? You talking about Revelstoke?
Oh,
that's
thank you.
Revelstoke.
Good job, bro.
That's the one.
Pull out of mass.
Yeah, you just pulled that. I don't know how you did that. I don't know.
I've snowmobiled up there.
You just keep
it. It's a badass snowmobile spot in the winter.
Wherever you pulled that out of your ass, I don't want to know. Just
that's
keep
the place.
But yeah.
It's a deep cavern.
Yeah, Revelstoke. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
We needed a coffee up. I was tired that day. The trip's winding down and I was fucking tired. And we stopped at some shit convenience center and I'm like, Jeff, me and Jeff are pretty, we need our Starbucks. And I was like, dude, there's got to be a Starbucks around here. Jeff's like, I'm in. And everybody else is getting like fucking monster drinks at this shithole convenience center with these buses and shit. I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm going to go sit in the air conditioning at Revelstoke. So we found a Starbucks. Everybody met us there later, and we caffeined up. Now, that was a cool ride to Revelstoke. Whatever highways we took, in the interest of time, we're cruising through. That's some badass riding. We hit some lakes and some cool spots and just some scenery and awesome. I don't remember the highways. Probably counterproductive to mention them all, but Revelstoke to Kelowna, right?
Yep.
So we're out. We're beelining for Kelowna. We have more to say about when we get in Kelowna. So let's talk about because we don't want to miss that. So we're at the Prestige Beach House in Kelowna. It's right on the lake. I don't remember. Do you remember what lake it is? I don't remember. Let me pull up a map.
Is it Kelowna?
Here. Maybe it is Kelowna. I don't think it's Kelowna Lake. So this is Kelowna. We're looking at Ride Planner.
It was Lake Kelowna, didn't it?
It may be. I don't know. I'm looking. Tell me if you see a name here.
I thought up the top.
It's Okanagan Lake.
Okanagan Lake.
There you go. Okanagan Lake. So beautiful, beautiful city. Don't know shit about Kelowna. Did we look up the population?
Kelowna?
Yeah.
It was like 125,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that marina was packed.
Yes, it was. So yeah, you're right. I think.
Well, yeah, but part of that was because it was Canada Day. So like, if it's 4th of July weekend for them.
Yeah.
Canada Day. We stay at Prestige Inn. Cool. Got in there. It's our last night before we head home. So we got to do something fun. And we got to live it up a little bit. Popeye's gone. Squid's gone. We got Jonathan Holland with us now, right?
Yes.
I want to talk a little bit about Jonathan Holland, who's a patron. He's also lives close to us. He lives very close to the guys down in Tri-Cities, Big Daddy Kane, Brian White, all those guys, Scott. And he's been very involved with Law Abiding Biker Media, has heavily supported our store. And he rode out of Cochrane with us, right? And to Kelowna. And great guy, had a fun time getting to know him. Huge supporter. He was at the patron dinner too, of course, provided cigars, and just awesome guy. Fun, getting to know him better. Saw him last night in the Tri-Cities. We had a meeting down there. He showed up after the meeting. But ended up in Kelowna, and I don't know much about this town. Now, I will tell you that Kelowna, quite the nightlife.
It is.
Just going to say,
that one
probably
stretch.
More nightlife than Popeye. You missed out on this one. I know you had to get home.
Yeah.
You saw some of the videos. There's a lot of video that I will never use on YouTube, only because I have daughters, and I don't want to completely humiliate. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
there's ethics.
You're talking about the birthday girl.
I'm talking about the birthday girl, Jeff.
Birthday girl.
So here,
Jiminy
we went to, oh,
Jeez.
let me mention this real quick before we get into birthday girl. Stay tuned for birthday girl, part 3. Okay. So we actually, on the way into Kelowna, Oscar, we went to a Harley dealership, and I want to give these guys a shout out. Right next to the Harley dealership is Conquer Your Ride. Conquer, Konquer, motorcycle custom rides and rods. They're right next to the Harley Davidson dealership. If you want to go, it's conquer.ca. Konquer. These guys hooked us up. Now, let me tell this story real quick, Jeff, and I know we're running late, but this is important. We get to the Harley dealership. We all want to buy our bullshit t-shirts and pay $100 for a t-shirt at Harley like usual and get ripped off by Harley. But we love it because it's cool, and that's the only clothes I have.
Just what you do.
I clothes shop once a year, Jeff, and it's at the Harley dealership on our yearly trip. Yep. And that's pretty much what I wear besides the Law Abiding Biker Media stuff like we're wearing tonight. Right. Now, Oscar gets there. I do some great video. Nice people, nice dealership. I think it was called Gasoline Alley.
Gasoline Alley, yep.
Good call. See, my memory's not so bad either, Jeff.
You got it before I did.
Not even in my notes, bro. So we get out to the bike, and Oscar had just put a battery in his bike about 2 months ago. Brand new battery.
One that he was real proud of.
Real proud.
Yeah.
Him and Cuz almost went to blows because it was hot, and it was not. It was less than desirable conditions, and Oscar's battery, his bike wouldn't start. The Harley dealership came out, a couple mechanics eventually.
Yeah, and kudos to them because it was just right after closing. Too.
You're right. A bunch of the salesmen left, rode right by us, and there were some people dogging Harley, like in our crew, like fuck them. And okay, they're salesmen, but the dealer, the mechanic guys came out, realized the problem. Anyways, at the end of the day, 2 jump packs that guys were carrying him, Cuz and Matt, tried to jump it, dumped it, like fried him. Didn't fry him, but it dumped him as far as they need a new charge. Like something's wrong with his battery. Next door is Conquer. Conquer Now, the Harley dealership was cool, but let me tell you, Popeye, Conquer guys who build custom, they have a huge shop. We bought some shit from them.
Huge
They came out. I think they started to realize who we were because a few people have mentioned it because I was filming and documentary stuff. And they come out and they come out with cold beers.
No shit.
Yep.
We got a battery for you. Bring your bike over. We'll hook you up. We're going to test it. We have voltmeters. We're good. Come on over. They were closing, these guys, hospitality, what we expect from Canada, brought out ice cold beers to us. Beer up.
Because that's what they had been doing when we showed up.
They were drinking after hours.
Yeah, they were.
Only in Canada.
Molson?
It was Molson.
Nice.
It's on the documentary. It will make it. And these guys aren't paying me. I'm just telling you. I'm giving them credit because they frickin' hooked us up. Kelowna, BC, info at Conquer, Konquer. They gave us beers. Huge shop. The ladies stayed late. These chicks are all tattooed up, dude. Nice. They ride their own bikes. They ripped out of there on bikes with apes and shit. These chicks were hot and nice. I'm being facetious, but they were nice. And we bought some things from them and they voltmetered and they did everything. We're drinking beer. I'm doing my documentary, straight up hooked up Oscar with a new battery, got him on the road. There's the kind of shit that happens. Battery after 2 months. What happened is it's a cheaper battery, not completely cheap. I mean, Oscar didn't skimp that much, but it overheated. And when batteries overheat like that and they're too hot, they can just lose everything. Some batteries go bad like that. You can even buy a good quality battery. They're just defective batteries. It's more of a defective battery. And anyways, that's the kind of stuff that can happen. How convenient, Jeff, was it that he broke down next to two huge motorcycle shops? I mean, imagine that, Popeye. That could have happened on Highway 3A.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Like, what do we do? Like, how convenient is it this bike wouldn't start at a Harley dealership? Like, we were lucky.
That's
we were
funny
already late.
That's funny you mentioned that with the heat because Squid's bike, several times in the heat when it started heating up throughout the day, when we were riding back, had a hard time starting. Very slow to turn over.
See, cranking
and in
amps.
fact, when we crossed the border from over back into the U.S., so just at by Osoyoos and whatever, I can't remember the name of the town, the very north town at the border. You should remember what's the run for the border code too?
Orville.
So
nice.
when we're in Orville, and he goes to crank it up at the gas station, and it won't start. I'm going, shit, this thing better start. Here we are. We rode all day. We get up early, and now we're gonna have a battery issue. We can't get going. But anyway, yeah, he same thing. Just turned it off for a second, hit starter again, and fired back up. So must be the same thing when it gets that hot. Like you're saying, battery just goes to shit.
Yep, and it shouldn't. If it is, you guys should check that because my battery didn't. But I just put a new one in because I was having some cold cranking amp problems. But it shouldn't. If it is, you need to pay attention to that because it may be your battery has an issue. Because we run our police bikes and like hot, like 100-degree all day, and they don't go bad. If it does, just be aware it should be an issue that you should probably check into because it could go bad like Oscar's.
What I was wondering is how two shops like that could end up being built just right across the parking lot from each other.
But you know what? Here's the deal. Harley dealerships right across from Conquer.
Across the parking lot.
Across the parking lot.
There. Yeah.
But here's the deal. Conquer's smart for doing that because everybody that comes to Kelowna, BC visits Gasoline Alley. And then they leave Gasoline Alley and they go to Conquer.
Yeah.
Guess what Conquer does? It builds up and customizes Harley-Davidson motorcycles and then they sell them. Brilliant, right? Mm-hmm. Brilliant. And because everybody's going to Conquer and buying shit too.
Yeah.
So it's actually a good business model. Seems funny, but when you think about the business model there.
Yeah, but the Harley...
Plus, hey, Harley gave us free waters. Conquer gave us free beer.
Yeah.
They had a nice shut. Your typical Harley dealership fucking waters.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Conquer's like, yeah, we got beer.
What is Gasoline Alley?
Gasoline Alley Harley dealership. That's their name in Kelowna.
But you noticed that a lot of the employees that rode away from the Harley dealership had all souped up, custom made bikes. You know damn well that they had taken their bikes.
They got like stage
and went right over
in
there.
them.
Went right over there to Conquer.
You're right.
And got their parts.
I think they all get along really well.
Yeah, it's a huge aftermarket store. I mean,
Totally.
I didn't get to go in there, but I could see that it was monstrous.
It was. We went in, purposely spent money buying bandanas and shit to support them. I got a contact with their social media guy. He was all over me once he figured out, kind of who we are. Gave him some stickers. They gave me some stickers.
Both the Harley dealership and Conquer, they were all really nice, very helpful.
Yep. Great in Kelowna. So let's finish it up here and then we're out. We're going to really rip through day 6 because it was just a few of us, but let's finish. You want to stick around for this, guys, if you're still live. And you guys wanted part 2 live, and I know it's a long time. But here we go. Kelowna. So the nightlife in Kelowna, holy shit.
We could walk from the motel, which we did. But the thing that struck me, and we were talking about this earlier tonight, was the first thing that I saw once we got downtown there was one of those carts. And we saw it in Boise when we were coming from Colorado.
Boise, Idaho. Mm-hmm.
Where you have these big carts and there's two benches, one on each side, that have pedals.
Yes.
And so people will sit on there and pedal. They're facing each other, but the cart is going forward or backward.
Pretty sure you said you had to be over a 1-0 to even get on. You already had to be drunk.
Same thing at Boise, same thing at Kelowna. Every one of them was drunk. Every one of them. They were hooping and hollering and yelling. First thing I saw. And it goes right up the street where there's just bars up one side and down the other.
That just cracks me up. Why in the hell do you want to get on a little deal that you have to pedal?
Because you're a 1-0.
I guess.
1-0 at least.
Because you're LD and you're a 2-0.
It's the last thing I want to do is ride a damn bicycle
like a good idea when you're
2-0 or a 1-0, whatever the hell.
Seems like you're a good idea when you're drunk.
But are
you thirsty at all?
Do they serve alcohol in this thing?
If you do, cut the mic and run down. You're fine because we'll talk while you're running down.
Do they serve alcohol at all? I mean, they can drink while they're going right up in the middle of the street.
Anybody else want a beer?
Yeah, please. I'll take a Modelo.
Okay.
And then we're going to wrap this up. Live audience.
Stand by.
Thanks. Because, it's cool. Thanks, bro.
But we were looking for a place to eat.
Bring some AC while you're going down. Bring some AC. All right.
And it was just a matter of picking a place. I don't think we had heard anything that one was better than the other.
No.
So we just looked at
it's cool
what everybody was
to walk through there. And I walk through with my camera, and it's really a small city, but it looks like a big city. Like it's what you expect as a small version of there's a lot of mentals. There's a lot of homeless, but it has the big city cool stuff too, like restaurants, like every block, like there's strips of restaurants and pubs and lights, and it's a beautiful city. Everything you expect of a big city in the bullshit like New York, but packed into a small city. Like we already had bums and people. Hey, do you need a tour? Do you want to pay? All the big city, right? Pay me and I'll tour you through the city. And you know what I told them? They asked where we're from. I know this because we tour all over. Mm-hmm. Where are you from? Oh, I can tour you through here. I go, I'm from New York City. As soon as you say that, they're like, fuck. They did. I know that game. And everybody looked at me like, why are you telling them that? I go, you guys are morons. Always telling me you're from New York. I've been to New York, but I'm not from there. But tell them you're from New York, and they're like, fuck, he knows the game. He's hard. He's from a way bigger city than here. He's not going to pay me to fucking tour him around. He's not from Whitefish, Montana. You know what I mean? And so they started catching on. They're like, Erlacher, that's a pretty good idea. I said, when they come up to you, just tell them where you're from. New York City, bro. And they're like, fuck, I'm out. And I have that on the documentary, which will be fun. We ended up at Doc Willoughby's pub, which was pretty good. Yep. We got a back room, not a huge menu. The food was good. At least they had beers on tap, which was cool for Canada. We had beers to choose from, and some great waitresses. There were some singers, some local talent in there. I don't even know what to call him, but some local talent who we saw around walking all the next day around that area. He must be a local celebrity. Thanks, brother. Modelo. Getting me that's good because it's so hot up here. This is ridiculous. You guys all the lab guys are ridiculous for hanging out up here in this sweatshop. But, it tastes good. So thanks for hanging out live, guys. Still, you guys wanted this. That's why I don't usually do it because it's so freaking long. But I see Jonathan Holland in there and Russell Roberts and Brian White. You guys are awesome. So Jonathan Holland and Brian White actually Brian White. Okay, so we split up that night. Let me just say that.
They're not here to tell us where they went.
Apparently, Popeye, there's clubs with ladies of the night in Kelowna. It's ridiculous.
What?
Sin City. Yeah. I thought I was in Babylon.
I'd have nothing of it.
I wouldn't. And I told them, it's ridiculous. You guys.
Would have put up with that nonsense.
And that's great. And so a few of the guys, I'm not going to say who did what, but I probably will. But anyways, a few of the guys wanted to go to see the ladies of the night, i.e. clubs, bros, clubs.
Topless place. Let them have it.
It's just topless. It's straight up. Yeah, topless. They just serve food and stuff. No biggie. But they wanted to go there. And a lot of us did not. Because I found, Jeff, that when you go to those places, I'm cool with that here and there. So I'm not talking bad about them. But I find from my travels that you find way more interesting shit on the street,
Just walking around.
and the regular
Right.
bars,
Yeah.
those are controlled environments, and you know what you're going to see, and that's all you're going to see. And they found out really quick they made the wrong decision
Yep.
because we saw the people of the night in Kelowna. And let me tell you, the people of the night in Kelowna, freaky.
Yeah.
Straight up freaky, Jeff. I'm pretty sure you had your Bible.
Get your freak on.
Jeff was
sitting
on his
all day long.
knees with his Bible, praying that he would.
I've seen him do it a lot of times.
Felt terrible in that town. I wanted to go,
So we ended up at this.
but I didn't have anybody to follow back to the motel
No,
that night. So
you're right, and it was our
you
last
were,
night.
Yeah, you were there. Yes, so.
No, and
So,
I wasn't drinking that heavy. You know what I was doing? Filming. Now, let me tell you,
Fernando's.
people are a little freaky about people filming in Kelowna.
Yeah.
They're a paranoid society. I'll just tell you that right now because I film all over North America, U.S. and Canada, and I've never had so many people so concerned about my filming things.
Why? Because they're hiding from something.
I know. It was weird, Jeff. And I saw so many people like freaked. Like we went to Boise, we went to Colorado. I've been all over. Nobody gives a fuck about what I'm doing. These people are like paranoid. Like I don't know what the deal was, but it was a really awkward thing. But did you think it stopped me, Jeff? Or do you think I kept putting the camera in their
Doesn't
face?
look like it to me.
Probably
much.
stopped you.
Yeah, no, pretty much put in their face, Popeye. That just makes the video more interesting
Right.
when they don't like it.
It didn't stop the birthday girl either.
No, it did not. And the birthday girl, oh God, here we go. So we ended up at, we're going to wind this down, guys, but this is great stuff. You got to stay tuned for this. Fernando's Pub. Okay. We just decided that they were going to go to the strip bar. Let's just say it what it is. And we were going to go and find a place because there's places everywhere and you can sit outside, right? Like Boise. And there's nightlife everywhere and there's fucking crazy people talking to walls and shit. And I got some great slow-mo with these people. All right. So those were some of the people that I thought were going to come take my camera. That wouldn't have been a good idea, but they were eyeballing me. And so I got some great night shots, but people walking by and girls and all kinds of stuff. So Fernando's Pub. So we just said, let's park it. Popeye, let's park it.
Park it.
Yep. I know I'm going to see boobies at the strip bar, but they're not going to do anything that they're not allowed to do in a strip bar, which is very regulated. But I know that at Fernando's, girls aren't regulated and they can do whatever they want.
Well, this one sure
Birthday
as shit
girl
wasn't.
had no regulations, Jeff.
Not the
Regulations are off.
No, I don't know that she read the regulation book. And so Jonathan Holland's sitting there and all of us, and Jonathan had a couple crazy mentals come up to him, and he handled it pretty good. Trying to, I forget what it was. Oh, one mental come up to Jonathan and he's drinking his whiskey. You know Jonathan by now a little bit. He's pretty funny. And he's in the chat room right now. And he's looking at him and he goes, the guy comes up to him and goes, "Hey, I saw you eyeballing me." It's fucking so funny. He goes, just a mental. We deal with mentals and law enforcement officers. You realize quickly, this guy's fucking crazy. And he goes, "Saw you eyeballing me across the street." Jonathan's like, "Nope, wasn't eyeballing you." And he's like, "No, you're fucking eyeballing me, bro." And Jonathan goes, "Bro, you should probably leave because you probably picked the wrong crowd here." And the guy looks at him and goes, "I'm out. Even though I'm mental, I'm out." Because Jonathan, he told me that story, and thank God, Jonathan, for that. He wasn't happy. And I don't know Jonathan that well, but probably not. I'm not going to F with him too much, especially when you're a mental and he's pretty clean cut and bald and stuff. And he just told the guys, "Nope, you probably picked the wrong crowd." It's something you would said. It's this total Popeye.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Like, nope, you're at the wrong place, bro. You should probably leave before you fucking get your ass kicked. Yeah. And the guy left. But now,
it's like you got to question
Wolverine.
Wolverine? Yeah, you got to question Wolverine.
Oh, God. That was Boise, too. Straight up Boise, dude.
That was Boise.
So birthday girl, we'll finish with that. So, okay, guys, this is what I mean about a strip club. We get more action here. And while they're at the strip club, I'm sending them videos, Matt, of what we're seeing, which is more than a strip club, unfortunately, or fortunately. But this girl, and she's drunk. And
no, she is flat hammered.
Correct.
In the video I saw, she looked sober.
Were you looking at her vagina?
Talking about?
Was that her vagina shot?
No, the gal that was with her was sober.
Correct. Keeping her from getting raped. Not by our crew, but other people in Kelowna.
She was sober.
Okay, so she comes out and she sees a group of guys, clean cut for the most part, but bikers, and she wants to give us a show. This girl, I have video, I have pictures of, she was like wearing a short dress, short cut, like mini skirt type thing.
Yep.
We had a table in front of us. We got a table dance. Her friend was telling her to stop, but her friend was mingling with us. She was somewhat educated and was not happy with what her friend was doing. Yes,
at one point, she learned that we were LEOs. And so
didn't know that because I was filming.
She did. She learned at one point that we were LEOs.
So she knew she wasn't going to get raped. That's
exactly
good. Right. So then she's like, okay.
Yeah. So she wasn't.
If she wants to spread her vagina,
she was letting her friend be stupid.
Right. You're right.
Basically, what it amounted to. Because
but she did try to stop her.
She knew that there wasn't somebody that was going to hurt her.
There's no risk.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she just kind of sat there and said, "What are you going to do?"
And she could tell we weren't like all over her.
Oh,
we were
God,
like,
no. We were
all
her
like,
away.
We were like covering our eyes, like, oh God.
No.
You know, okay, I peeked a few times.
No, I was.
I mean, come on, it's a girl.
What is that?
What is that?
What is that?
No.
What is that? Is that shaved?
I haven't seen that before.
I haven't seen that. She is somebody's daughter, and she was highly drunk, inebriated, and we got
probably fine.
LD got a lap dance. Indian John.
Somebody else did, yeah. John?
Not by choice.
No.
None of them by choice.
None of them.
LD was.
Out.
You don't see LD red faced a lot. He was red faced. Popeye, totally red faced in the video. You should see it. He was red faced, and John was red faced, and they were literally like pushing her off, realizing I was filming. But you know, all in good fun. There was nothing, you know, that was going to happen. We were all there, but she was all over Jonathan a little bit, and all right, Popeye. And yes, I have video of all this, guys, but I'm going to tell you.
I would have got up and left.
Some of it's going to make the documentary of her dancing and joking.
You're probably going to have to be careful.
Tell me if I'm wrong.
You're probably going to have to be careful
about
ethics.
Yes.
You're probably going to have to be careful about what of that you're actually
correct.
You're going to load up. Yeah.
Do you agree with me?
Yeah,
like it's somebody's daughter. Like, yes, I have.
She was 30.
I know.
It was her 30th birthday.
I have footage that I could completely.
I think that
30th like birthday. Her reputation would be gone.
Oh yeah.
But I can't do that to a young lady. She was drunk. And yes, we got some great footage, but I can't do that too. So the money shot at the end of the night was, and she did it multiple times, and she was all over Oscar too. I'm not going to say Oscar was pushing. I'm just teasing. Oscar was pushing her away. She got on the table. She laid down. She hiked her dress up. She spread her legs, and she put her legs down in the complete spread eagle position. And her panties were not on.
Who was
the most part?
Who was the victim of that one?
Wow, all of us.
No,
there was nothing left to the imagination, Popeye. Like more than they saw at the strip club.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, like she was hanging it out there, like the whole deal, the full meal deal. Jeff,
is that where her friend?
You haven't seen that since you're 20.
Is that where her friend finally
I don't
called
put up with
timeout?
that stuff.
Jeff's like, I'm 20 again. Sweet.
Is that where her friend called timeout finally?
Yep.
Got her out of there. I think so.
But then she did it again. Oh, but her friend tried to stop her.
I'm appalled you guys didn't all leave.
I did, Popeye.
Yeah, good.
I went across the street and I used my telephoto lens.
I got a hold. Yeah, I called the bar security. Help us out here.
Kelowna's wild, and that wasn't the only wild thing. Like I say, that nightlife is unbelievable. But like I said, I will be respectful about how I put that. I will put enough so that people get the gist. But it's hard for me to.
Now that you've just talked about all of it and you're going to put it.
That's fine. It's not visual, right? Different. If I were to put that on YouTube, dude, this poor girl, I mean, I can't do that.
And that was pretty stupid too. When you consider.
She knew I was filming too.
Yeah, she could have run into a group like the guy that approached John.
Yes.
And there would have been very little that her friend would have been able to do.
Correct.
Like I said, she was comfortable when she learned that we were LEOs. I can't remember who told her.
She
relaxed. She relaxed. Her friend was being stupid, but she knew nobody was going to hurt her.
Oh, she relaxed. All right.
Yeah. Well, no. Her friend did. Her friend relaxed. Oh. No, her friend relaxed. Got out of the protective mode. Didn't think she was going to have to stand next to her to guard against an attack.
Right. Her friend knew that we were doing this on YouTube too, which is why she was trying to stop her a little bit. But I told her friend, you know what? I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not going to degrade her.
You know what? These girls are just going to do what they want to do, and you just got to go out and let them. You know, just gotta let them have a good time. Shit. You know what are you going to do?
What I do remember is the friend, was from Kelowna, and this gal, the dancer, was not.
Oh, okay. Not a professional dancer, but
a dancer.
Could definitely make a career at it. Not going to lie to you.
Go dance downtown one night and get the hell out of town.
She probably could have made some money at it. I'm just straight up. So, all right. Kelowna, wild. We drank and we had some drinks, but we kept it real.
Yeah.
And we realized that the last leg of the trip was the next day. Beautiful. I got up early. Here's the funny thing. I got up early again to get some drone footage and some videography and some time lapse. Mm-hmm. I'm flying over the lake there. What lake did we say it was? Okanagan. Yeah. So I'm flying over it, and it's beautiful.
It is.
And the bridge, and I'm getting these morning shots, and the marina, and there's a lot of money. I think a lot of people vacation there. I think there's a lot of money there that people come for vacation. It was Canada Day, and right, it was Canada Day. And guess what? Jonathan Holland, I didn't realize he was up that early. He's walking the marina, and he hears, he's like, the fuck is that? So I get done, and we're going to meet at Starbucks, and Jonathan's like, fuck, dude, were you flying your drone this morning? Because I was walking over the marina, and this fucking drone came flying over me. I'm like, yeah, that was me, bro. And what's the coincidence of that? You know, he's like, I figured it was you. He was like, I was looking at it and waving, thinking it was you. Some beautiful shots of Kelowna right there. So we end up at Starbucks. The last leg of the trip.
Somebody put it best, Kelowna is Chelan on steroids.
True. Popeye said that. Lake Chelan, where these guys are close to, is definitely on Chelan on steroids. And you got to visit. It's fun. If you want a nightlife, I compare it second to, Jackson Hole. Yeah. Which you got to, if you wanted to spend 2 nights of partying, you go to Jackson Hole, you go to Kelowna, and you can ride around the local areas during the day after you wake up from your hangover. But they're great areas. And we're going to wrap this up. This is great though. Wow, we're going to be at 2 hours. Thanks guys for hanging out. So we get up, do the drone thing. It's just me, Brian, Jonathan Holland, Brian White, and Indian John, right?
For the ride back?
Yeah. The last one we went to Starbucks.
Oh, yeah.
That morning. Right. And then, of course, Lurch and Cuz are going to sleep until the last second.
That's right.
Yep. And so we do our Starbucks things, see some more homeless freaks and mentals, and we're out. And we pulling out of the hotel. We cross the bridge. Out, yep. And we're, throttle down. Back towards Washington. So go ahead. You have something funny to say.
Throttle way down.
Throttle way down.
Yeah. I think.
Apparently, Jeff can't.
I didn't. No, I didn't do the switch.
He didn't do the conversion.
I did not do the conversion. I did later after I got my ass chewed.
So the first stop I said, Jeff, we're doing like 140 kilometers per hour, and that's definitely above the recommended 100 miles.
Is that fast?
Yeah. Like basically it's 100 kilometers, which is about 60 miles per hour, Jeff.
You can't say that we were blown by.
They're not the same?
What's not the same?
Kilometers an hour.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
No, I guess
get
not.
your drift.
That's why I made home 11 hours.
I get your drift.
But we weren't blown by traffic. Too bad, were we?
We were, Jeff.
No.
And yeah, we were. I
thought it was pretty moderate.
Yeah. Well, you think that.
Yeah, you just don't want to get caught in the flow.
Correct. We were trying to get out of Canda without any tickets. So, no, but
we did.
We did. We slowed it down, and I had my boombox set to kilometers per hour. So that we would know where we're at. But
I switched it out in that one parking lot where I got my ass chewed.
Is that where you did? Yeah. And it was a nice ass chew. We're just like, we should probably slow down a little bit, Jeff. but it was fun while it lasted.
Okay, yeah.
It's our last day. And so we throttle down, and we're heading from, Jeff, remind me, this is the last day, and let me look it up here. Nope, that's not it. So we're headed from, of course, back home. Day ride home. We got Kelowna to home, 316 miles, 6 hour saddle time.
It was hot.
Oh, God.
It was
just
hot that day.
Fucking hot.
Yeah, fucking hot right now.
It is fucking hot up here.
No, I mean,
that's hot as it was here.
The last day ride was freaking, and it was the most noteworthy border crossing of the whole trip. Do you remember that?
It was. Yep.
We came through, big one right there at Oroville.
We crossed at Oroville, right?
Warehouses and all that kind of shit. But the guys there, they took your ID and they asked what you did. You tell them LE or whatnot. And he said, go stand in front of your bike.
Yes.
And so he took my ID, and then I had to go stand in front of the bike. He said, take your helmet off, please, which I did, of course.
Yep.
Then go stand in front of the bike, which I did. And then he compared the ID and then went back to the booth. And I had to wait there standing in front of the bike until he got back. Totally different than this.
Yep.
You compare it to the gal that says, okay, your friend just told me this.
Right.
What do you got to say about that? Okay, go ahead through. And then this guy is here lining you up in front of your bike.
But they were nicer. Yeah. They were almost nicer.
No, he was very polite.
You know what I mean? Like they're so used to so many crossings.
He was very polite. I mean, it was not a matter of he was making shit up. He does it for everybody.
Yes. And as
Stand
a
here, stand
rule,
there.
as Leos, we know when you're going into Canada, you don't tell them you're a law enforcement officer because they search the fuck out
Yep.
of you.
Yep.
When you're coming back into the U.S. and Borders Customs, you quickly tell them you're a Leo. And I did because he asked, what do you do for a living? Leo. He goes, cool. Let me check your picture. Good, you're out, bro. What are you guys up to? Where do you work?
Right.
You know what I mean? Where are you from? Yakima PD. I'm a motors officer. Oh, that's sweet, man. You know, and straight on fucking through. But going up, we don't tell Canadian Customs, FYI, guys, because they think every American's bringing guns into their country.
Oh God, those guns are dangerous.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh man.
Yep. They pull their triggers themselves and everything.
Oh,
It's
God.
crazy
Yep.
shit. They do. We walk around the streets pulling their triggers themselves. But all right, we're not going there.
Yeah, the only thing about the ride home that day was just the only thing noteworthy was how
Yep.
freaking hot it was.
It
God,
was.
hot all day.
And if you want to cross that border at Oroville, right?
Yes.
There's a lake there, and that half of that lake is Canadian and half of it is fucking United States. I don't get how that is, but there must be a line somewhere. What lake is it? Do you guys remember?
Shit, I didn't stick around long enough. I could.
I looked
Like
at
a
them.
Soyuz.
Too hot.
A Soyuz. Good job, Popeye. Look at you. And so,
Good partying up there. I've never done that when I was younger.
right, never, no,
I
never,
don't-
never seen naked
Never
chicks
used-
in Kelowna.
No.
Wait, did we eat lunch in Chelan?
Yeah,
we
so
did.
we crank through. When
Oh,
you're
yeah.
there's nothing.
At
It's
BC
nothingness.
no.
It's 105 degrees of fucking nothingness and sheetgrass, and it's hot. And you know what? I'm still on a motorcycle though. But we ended up in your neck of the woods,
We ate BC's in Chelan.
BC's. It was and it was
It
so
was nice,
hot.
cool,
Good beer.
nice and cool in there. Yeah.
Good beer. Jeff gave me a tour a little bit. I had to drop off all my camera gear. I didn't want to leave it behind the substation there. And he gave me a cool tour there, some history on there used to be a Chelan Police Department, Lake Chelan Police Department. And Jeff gave me a little history lesson, which was really cool. The other guys could give a flying fuck. But I care, right? They all were like, let's go to get a beer and get lunch. And I'm like,
You
he's
show him
giving
where
me
you tied your horse up?
right. He did.
Yeah.
There's a tying post there. It still has a mark in it from his horse.
Right.
His spurs were.
That was funny. That was
Posted,
good.
right?
You guys, that's awesome, guys. That was awesome. God, that was funny. Shit.
You know it's getting long, right? Dude? But no, Jeff, honestly, all jokes aside, I appreciate that. It was cool to go through that. And he told me about when Lake Chelan PD was disbanded, for lack of a better word, and the sheriff's office up in that county took it over, and it was cool. We ate it. What was it called? BC's. We had great beer, great conversation. The only people left, Cuz, Matt, Lurch, me, you, Jonathan Holland.
LD.
No.
LD was gone. Oh, that's right. He got up. He had to go to work early.
Yep, he had to go to work early. LD was not with
Oscar?
us. Oscar.
Oscar bailed with LD.
He bailed with LD. Yep. You're right. Good call. From Kelowna.
We actually split in half.
Yep, we split in half.
Yeah.
The last 6 were him, me, Indian John, Lurch, Cuz, and Jonathan Holland. So we ate there, great, and we're winding down, and we don't want to end the trip, of course. A lot of guys like to rush home, and I'm okay with that if you got to rush home for certain reasons. But you know what? My vacation is my frickin' vacation, and I don't want to just.
I had to rush home to go on vacation.
You did, right. And there are circumstances. But you know, a lot of guys just want to rush home and mow the lawn and fuck that. I'm on vacation. I'll end it when I'm damn well ready to end it. That's how me and Matt are. We're really anti rushing home and getting up early the last day. Let's enjoy the last day. And you guys, so we dropped you off because they live in that neck of the woods and we headed south. Me and Matt, I'll finish it up and then we'll get out of here. Are these guys are unbelievable. They're still here alive, aren't they?
Yeah, a few of them.
You guys chatting?
Yeah, there's a couple of them on there.
All right. You guys wanted it. You guys wanted it live. So we're still live. But this is why I don't usually do this long live. So we ended up going back and me, the last leg of the trip, you and who else cut off? Just you cut off.
I cut off at North Wenatchee.
So Jonathan Holland.
The rest of you kept going.
Yeah. Jonathan Holland, Cuz, Lurch, and me. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. This is terrible. When did when did he cut off? Because we didn't end up with him in Ellensburg. It was just me, Lurch, and Cuz.
Did Brian come with us?
Brian was with us.
Brian was with us.
Brian White was with us.
Yes, he was with us.
This whole time.
Yeah, so Jonathan and Brian went home from Chelan, he says.
There you go. Yep.
And John left the group early.
See what I mean? We've got 3 hours of this stuff in this sweatshop. I forget. Yes, Brian and Jonathan cut off from there. Me, Cousin Lurch headed out, and here I'll finish it. So me and Cousin Lurch end up in Ellensburg. We actually stopped one time to take a leak, and I told Lurch, I go, I don't want to end this vacation. We're not done. We're not going to do anything today at home. You want to stop in Ellensburg at the Iron Horse Brewery?
Hell
Irish
yeah.
Death? I'm like, Lurch, twist his arm. Well, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I prefer the Heffy, but okay.
Oh, yeah. Do you? I like the Irish Death. And so we stopped at Iron Horse Brewery in Ellensburg. And we're like, we're not ending this vacation. We had some popcorn and chips and we drank some beer and refreshed ourselves, of course, because I'm pretty sure his penis is still in his wife's purse. He was like, well, I thought you guys were just going to stop for one beer. Matt's like, does it matter if it's one beer or 3 beers? And, cause
Right.
well, I just didn't know. And I got to get home and my wife, and we're like, get out, Matt,
My wife's
get out of
gonna
here,
whoop my
pussy.
ass.
Get out of here, pussy. Go find your penis in her purse. And he literally left us.
No
Cuz
shit.
left
Pissed
us.
off, huh?
Me and Matt are like, whatever. And we stayed there, love cuz, whatever. We all got to get home. We're just busting his balls. I don't know what the actual situation was. But he took off and me and Matt ended up, had a couple beers, relaxed, visited. And then we ended up the trip going down the canyon, our neck of the woods and running the river. And it was just a wonderful end of the trip. Not stressful, not rushing home. And there you go. Holy cow.
Great time.
Great trip.
Great time. Canada's beautiful. Can't wait to go back. Yeah.
Yep.
Fantastic.
And thanks guys for being in the live chat. Anything else you guys want to say about if you have a number one, just tell me this. You have to pick. Okay. You have to pick. So it doesn't matter. I know there's multiple things on the top of your list. If you have to pick one thing about the trip, the most memorable, the thing that will stick in your memory the most when you're on your deathbed, when you're old, Jeff's almost there.
Older.
Sorry.
Sorry, you guys kill me. I just, you just really got me going here. Shit, I'll be laughing all night long, all the way home.
It's going to be a beautiful ride home.
Yeah.
The temperature's
Oh, I know. It's going to be
you
perfect.
guys. Wish I could ride with you. Shit.
You can.
I know. True. Then I'd have a 2-hour ride home. If you had one thing on your deathbed, and this is real, like, what are you going to remember about this Canada trip? Like the one thing that's going to stick out.
I promised my wife I wasn't going to do this.
I promised that, you know what? Here's the deal, Popeye. I want us to answer this honestly. But I will tell you, Jeff, he's going to remember the lady in her vagina and her legs spread in Kelowna.
I actually, to tell you the truth,
Close your eyes, huh?
I did not see.
You saw lips.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes,
I did not.
Yeah,
I
you
did
did.
not. No.
How could you not? Her bean was out there and everything. Her lips and bean and everything, Jeff.
Little balloon knot was just hanging right out.
Luckily for me, she was pointing in a different direction when she did her little table dance.
Okay.
Lucky for me.
It's probably what you told.
But
That's your story.
but
That's your story on your deathbed. I never saw it. I never saw
To
it.
answer your question.
Okay, so, all right. Are you ready to answer this?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so what is you? Go, Jeff. And then we're going to wrap it up.
Do it now.
I'd say the whole patron day.
Nice. Nice call, bro.
Just the whole thing.
Nice.
I mean, it was a lot of guys there, a lot of bikes.
The
Great
camaraderie.
scenery, the camaraderie. A group that size, nobody was pitching, bitching, and moaning about wanting to do this, wanting to do that, wanting to see this, wanting to see that. Everybody was doing the same thing. We all ended up at John's place. It was great. The whole thing, the whole day. I said the whole Patrons Day.
Complete melding.
Yeah.
And no
awesome ride.
Nice. Quick. All you can say is one word.
Patron
Can't
Day.
explain it. Number 2. What's your second? Just say a word.
Barbara Walters, Oprah Winfrey, your wife. You got to fuck one, kill one, and marry one. Ready? Go.
Second?
Just say a word. You only have to say two words most. Don't explain it. 2 words. Second best thing.
3A.
Nice. Highway 3A. Popeye.
Yeah.
Do number 1 right now on your deathbed.
God damn.
People asking you about your 2017 Canada trip. Popeye, what was your best thing before you die about Canada 2017?
It's hard because I do.
No, it's not hard.
Love
Make a
3A
decision. You got to make a decision
on the ferry
I know.
because I've done it before. That's the only reason that I'd say it's hard is because I've done it before. So for me to go back and say that was awesome. I mean, I talked about that road for years after the first time I rode it.
Was it stepping in the vomit?
Badass. Huh?
Was it stepping in Rob's vomit?
Yeah.
I thought that was your number 1 answer, stepping in Rob's vomit.
Oh, that was cool. Yeah, I will remember. Yeah, the number 1 thing I will probably remember.
You said that
is probably stepping in Rob's vomit. You're right. That is probably the number 1 thing I'll remember.
Here we go. Here's Rob. Sorry.
That's funny.
We will end this someday, but yes, go ahead.
Yeah, you know, God, I don't.
Go ahead. It's ridiculous.
So that ferry ride, yeah, that 3A, that was a good road. That was a lot of fun. The ride the Patreons took us on, though, I mean, I know you said choose one, but both
you have to choose only because it's fun to make you choose one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For argument, for discussion's sake, you make you pick one.
Because I had not done it before, I would go with Highway 40 North. Beautiful country.
And 3A that was the patron
beautiful.
Day?
3A was awesome. Patron Day. It was awesome. It was a good ride.
Okay. Sweat shop in here.
Sweat my ass off.
Oh my God. Okay. My turn, right? What's number 2? You only have 3 words at the most. Don't explain it. Just your second most right before you die about this trip.
Mine?
Yeah, he said Highway 3A.
I just told you it was kind of a both though.
Sorry.
I
didn't get
I
it.
guess 3. I mean, they're both right up there together. They're both right up there together.
So you're saying you answered it in 1. I got you. So you're saying Patron Day and then 3A.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm golden with that. Okay, my turn. So definitely Patron Day. Not only because of the ride, but because of what we did and the hospitality and meeting the Canadian guys up there and the patrons. Definitely, I'll never forget that. As long as we have Law Abiding Biker Media going, like all of our meetups. Number 2, Glacier National Park for me.
Yeah.
See,
straight up.
The only reason I don't say that it was what Brian just said here. Brian White just talked about.
Oh, is he in the chat? You got to bring this up. Bring this up.
Brian
bro.
White just talked about how the best day for him was Glacier before we hit all the traffic.
Right. Exactly.
So I've ridden Glacier without the traffic.
I'm okay with the traffic.
And you're just riding through with just a hard on the whole time going through that fucking area if you don't have traffic.
Right.
But when it's just stop and go and it's hot as it was and your bike's getting hot and I'm getting frustrated.
Right.
Otherwise it is fan-fucking-tastic to go through there without all the traffic. So like Brian said, it's before we hit all the traffic, that lower ride, and he said he's listening to some great tunes and stuff going through there. For him, he said that was the best. And I would agree with that. If it was no traffic, like I've ridden it before, God, it's a lot of fun.
See, for instance, on Glacier, that lake that when we first went in,
right,
and it was all white capped, because of the wind.
Yes.
It's called Lake McDonald. That's the lake that has all the colored rocks. And when it's clear, it's
I didn't know that.
Awesome. It's beautiful. Beautiful. But that day that we went through, it was all white capped and stuff, and it's green. You can't see the bottom. Can't see the rock.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Just rolled right through there.
And so weather-wise, plus the crowd, that's what made me pass on Glacier this time around. Because I've been through there when it was not like that.
Nice.
Weather conditions were a lot better. Traffic was not anywhere even close to what we encountered.
No.
Okay.
So I would have said Glacier if it had been under the ideal conditions.
That's good insight.
Yeah.
And see, because Glacier was me, because I've never been through there.
Yeah.
So it was spectacular. See what I'm saying?
And that road that we talked about, I don't remember the highway in Montana too, where we rode for like an hour and saw like 3 or 4 cars.
Right.
Even though the road was bumpy, I mean, I was thinking the whole time, God, this is freaking awesome.
Right.
No cars on the road.
Right.
No nothing. And just beautiful area. So, I mean, that's another one that ranks right up there at the top for me. I mean, just say no cars. I was amazed how little traffic there was, how little people there were, and beautiful scenery.
That's one of those little hidden treasures. See?
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully, guys that hear this.
And that was the back way into Whitefish that I'm talking about.
The back way into Whitefish. You're right. Yeah. You're right. See?
Awesome.
It's hard to choose.
Yeah. We saw a lot of beautiful country. Every time I go to Canada and ride up there, and I have family that lives up there.
Yeah, sure. You betcha.
Yeah.
Hey?
So every time I go to Canada and go up there, I mean, the hospitality, like we've been talking about, but just the sights, beautiful. And part of that's just because they have less people up there, so it's less inhabited. But it's just absolutely beautiful and pristine up there. Beautiful country.
Yep, absolutely. Number 3? That's my best memory. That's my best memory. Oh, my God.
Wrapping
you guys are unbelievable for sticking it out.
Goddamn Sweat Lodge.
Oh, my God. Now you know. These guys support us. We're telling you.
We're American idiots.
Oh, we're American idiots.
I love this
Absolutely. Don't ride without the slide bikeaholics bug slide. We used it our entire Canada trip.
Hell yeah.
Our patrons Popeye used it. Jeff used it. I used it. It was our a lot of the guys' morning routine to get their bikes cleaned up. Waterless motorcycle cleaner, tried and tested right here in Canada. Yep, it works in Canada too, regardless of the conversion. It still works up in Canada. We tested it. Clean, shines, degreases while removing bugs and other surface contaminants, guys. That's right. Use it on your motorcycle, car, boat, and more. Never need to wax again. The release agent in Bug Slide contains a UV filter for added protection. It's free of abrasives, safe on all non-porous surfaces. That's right, guys. Even works on that Hardy denim paint. Believe in it so much, we carry it right in our store. lawabidingbiker.com/store. Big Daddy Kane has it ready to ship to you direct right this very moment, guys. Oh, my goodness. What a couple episodes. These guys got a ride back, and thanks for being everybody here live. Thanks for the super chats and donating and all that kind of stuff. Looks like Popeye's taking it out there with a comment, and 85 in my office says Matt Lewis. Yeah, that's hot. It's definitely probably 85 up here too, exactly. At least.
Good to be back in the studio too. It's been a while. Don't make it take so long next time.
Tell me about it, bro. I just need to...
Don't drink and podcast.
Don't.
It's not safe.
That's the other thing. When Jeff's on his deathbed, that's what he's going to tell people. You know, this one time I drank too much and I podcasted. Don't do it.
Never drink and
Everybody did. Everybody did it their first time.
Because podcasts never go away.
That's right.
And we can still listen to it.
Episode 43. Isn't that it? 43. I think it was.
You know the number.
I believe it was.
That's funny.
Don't look it up. You won't find it.
That's freaking
You are back in the archives. I think I'll look it up.
You guys have a good ride back up. I'm going to see you out here, and we are out of here, guys. Peace out.